I feel like Jesus is always on the podcast.
Well, hello and welcome to episode 8 of Video Games mmmHmmm, a podcast
That's how it's starting,
where
right?
we discuss video-related games and games-related news. My name is Jimmy Gang, and I'm joined by Paul McBride.
Jesus Christ, please. Thank you.
Mike Gibson.
Hey, everybody, it's me.
And forever special guest, South Bill Carr.
I'm super special.
Oh my God, how's everyone tonight?
I mean, we opened it with Jesus, so it's a good night.
Yeah.
As long as if we open with Jesus and close with Satan, all's right with the world.
We'll be on our way.
Oh boy. Oh, video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those exist.
Has anyone done anything special besides video games? Paul did.
I just had supper. Thank you for noticing.
You just had supper, but besides that, did you do some kind of trip?
I did. Yeah, I went to Hawaii. I went to Maui for a week.
Hawaii, Paul. Did they name an island after you when you bought one?
They're not selling anymore of them.
Oh.
I know.
Well, you're not selling anymore after you bought them all, or?
Right. That's what I meant. It doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
Smart.
So
how was
yeah.
Hawaii for the 14th time?
it was good. It was good for the second time. It was cool.
Second time?
Third time. All right. Listen.
I know you've been there more than.
What is this? A goddamn Inquisition?
I know you've been there more than twice.
I've been there 3 times. So
Okay.
That barely counts.
All right. Which island did you spend time on?
We went to Maui this time, which is kind of like the in-between. It's not super naturey, but it's also not super urban, so it's kind of in between. Lots of you got to get the beach, you got the hikes, you got the waterfalls and lava fields and a lot of food.
Did you touch any lava?
I touched lava fields. Actually, I didn't tell you the story yet, but we were walking through we were going to the lava fields, and there's a sign that says, "Please don't desecrate the sites, the cultural heritage sites."
Yeah, it's really funny.
Hold on, it gets better.
Okay.
Wait, I feel like you don't mean that. Okay, so there's a sign that says, don't walk in the heritage sites, for cultural, protection. So we're walking along what we believe is a path for a while, and then we're like, oh, here's another path, because the stones were slightly different color, and it was obviously like a walking path. So we walk down it, and we start to see what looks like the remnants of like homes built out of the lava stone, like the basalt and the stuff that's left over, I guess.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, this is weird. And all of a sudden the path just got really rocky, and it was like clearly not a path anymore. And then we were like, this is definitely a house that we're basically in. And this is what they meant by don't go into the cultural heritage site. So
you broke into a lava house?
I broke into a lava house. This is all going to get cut out, right?
What?
No.
It was an accident.
I don't understand.
Jimmy, send this directly to President Donald J. Trump. This man's committed a crime.
Right?
It'd be like going to Greece and accidentally walking into ruins that are off limits.
Or like going to Colorado and walking into Columbine.
I don't know if it's the same.
You walked into a lava house where people died.
No. The people settled there, and they built shelters out of the lava stone.
Oh.
No, you're right. I lied. It's definitely where people died.
I knew it.
Okay, so that's the issue. These were lava shelter houses.
These were houses that probably got destroyed in a lava flow. I don't know.
Okay.
Listen, there wasn't a whole lot of information except don't walk. The information said don't walk over here.
That seems really weird.
No, it was pretty. You mean what's weird?
Why are they so concerned over destroyed lava houses?
They're historical landmarks now.
Right.
I understand that, but why are they so oh man, look at these destroyed lava houses?
Because the ruins after Pompeii, finding people frozen in time that got incinerated or whatever. I don't really see this as the same thing. Is that because a bunch of primitives on an island dying doesn't matter as much as people?
No, because they're not finding the same stuff.
Yes, they did. I'm sure they found pottery, things like that.
Okay.
These people weren't using...
the way you were talking about it didn't make it seem like that.
Well, that's because, like I said, I thought it was just rocks,
Okay.
and then I realized it was someone's house.
And then you realize
Okay.
he was actually he was just being uncultured. It was a house.
So
I
you
was
were
being-
trespassing on. Okay.
Yeah,
I got you now. I got you now.
it was a whoopsies. I mean, I would have been like, sorry if someone
Did you
caught
go
me,
to
but
did you go to the embassy and
I didn't turn
apologize?
myself in. Well, it's still America, so no, I didn't. I'm
I'm at the
American.
Russian embassy.
Pretty
You
sure.
didn't go to the Russian embassy and turn yourself in?
Yeah.
No. Did you see? Did you see that a bunch of Hawaiians greeted Donald Trump saying "Welcome to Kenya" when he came to visit recently?
That's really good.
That's real good.
So maybe I should have gone to the Kenyan embassy or the American embassy there.
yeah.
Seek asylum.
That's so good. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So, anyways, yeah.
Oh
fun
my
trips.
gosh.
A lot of portable gaming.
Did
Yeah?
you follow the Persona advice and not drink the Hawaiian water?
No, I drank it. You asked me that already.
Not on the.
Oh, sorry. Did I break the illusion?
Not in the podcast, baby.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't get the poops. Although, actually, you know what? I remember we talked
I
about
thought
this.
you thought so. In our previous conversation that we were kind of referencing here,
I had a.
you did say.
I had an epiphany in the previous conversation, and then I forgot it, and now I just had it again.
Man, that's a double.
I just. I got a lot of brain damage
Paul
from all that
plays.
water I drank.
Yeah, Paul plays. Paul plays podcast recording.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh my god. Well, you
if it's
mentioned
not a
portable
hot
gaming.
mess.
So what did you play in Hawaii?
Oh man. So on the way out, I've been saving Mario plus Rabbids to play. I also downloaded what's that game? Not Pictionary, Picross, the new Picross.
Oh, you need
Picross.
to play the new Picross. Okay.
Yeah, I downloaded that. I
Any
dipped my
good?
foot. Yeah, I'd never played a Picross game. So
I have
was
never
like,
played a Picross game either. That's why.
didn't know what I
Oh,
was
you-
doing.
You guys need to play Picross. You kidding me?
Yeah, I've never played
Yeah.
it.
Those
I
games
only
are so
played it for a few
good.
minutes, and then I realized I had to learn something in order to play it. Like I had to figure it out, and I didn't feel like thinking, so I quit. I was on vacation.
How does Picross work? Is it like multiplication table type deal? I mean, that's what it looks like when I've seen pictures of it.
Not exactly, Mike. You're probably better adept to explain.
Yeah,
this.
I can answer that one. Picross is actually real easy, because it's not. There's no math. It's literally there's minor counting and stuff, but it's like, okay, if you've got a grid 5x5, you'll have numbers on the top and on the side that'll be like 1 1 1 3 1 1 1 3 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That just means of those row or column of 5, 3 of those squares in that row or column are filled in. And so you basically then cross-reference the top, like the row, with the column counts, and be like, okay, this is the only way this could line up. So like a 1 1 1 on a 5x5 has to be 1 blank 1 blank 1 blank.
And that's determined by the X's and blanks.
Yep. The X's mean that it's like nothing's here, and then you would fill in if it's like this is where one of these are filled in or whatever.
I think
And
I would
it's
need.
a
I think I would
picture.
need to see.
Yeah,
See it in action.
If you saw it in action, it would probably make a bit more sense. Where
Okay.
Picross
It
gets
is.
complicated is when you blow up from like a 5x5 to a 15x15 or a 20x20, or I believe the newest Picross game introduces multiple colors. So it'll be like, oh, there's 1 3 1 red, but there's also 2 blue. Figure out where those both intermingle to make the lines and stuff. Or Picross 3D, which is another dimension or whatever.
The 3D almost makes more sense to me than
Mm-hmm.
the regular one. But either way, I got that. That was a thing.
Okay.
Mario Rabbids, I did another world or half of another world, and then I quit that because I got tired of it. So it is the burnout in World 3 is real.
Is it just because it starts getting really hard?
It gets
Or
harder,
just boring,
and the
or-
battles take longer, and you're still limited on like you stop getting new things that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess that sense of progression. Like XCOM always makes you feel like you're getting new shit.
Right.
Like you feel like you're getting new abilities, new guys.
You're doing all the research.
You're doing research. Yeah, you're constantly upgrading your stuff, so you have all these tools. Like you keep on getting your tool set built on over time. And I feel like the progression in Mario Rabbids just doesn't really exist. Like it exists to a point.
Isn't that by design? I mean, because it's designed in such a way where kids could play it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yes, but I don't think that's the intention there either necessarily.
Okay. I mean, that's
I don't
just
think they're not trying to babyfy it if that's what you're saying. Like, because
okay.
it's still hard. Like that's what I was just saying. Like it's not easy. Like World 3 is challenging enough that it makes you want, like it makes you think, but you don't have any more tools to work with. So like that fun experience of like that was a tough battle, but I got something from it. Like I got this cool new thing. That doesn't exist. Like you don't feel like you got a cool new thing.
The cool new thing
feel
just ends
like
up being progress or whatever.
It's progress in the story, progress along the levels, and I mean occasionally you do, like you get new
And if you
characters.
lose interest in that, then it's just
Right.
nothing there.
Yeah. Well, the story is also like the story is funny and cool, but it only happens at like beginnings of chapters, middles of chapters, and ends of chapters. Like it doesn't happen, and like there's a lot of you'll do like 3 battles in a row, and there won't be any story. It'll just be like battle that takes you 30 minutes, battle that takes you 30 minutes,
Okay.
and you don't. Yeah. So I mean, it's a totally good one of those things. And if I hadn't just played a bunch of XCOM 2, I probably would have been more into continuing it because I would have been enjoying the actual gameplay more and not needing that that leveling up feeling. But I burned out on it because I just wasn't getting much out of it anymore. So not to besmirch the game, just
Do you think you're gonna go back and finish it, or you think you're done?
I could see myself going back and playing it. It does have like the option. There's a washing machine you can use that lets you go
The
back
time
and play.
machine?
Yeah. It lets you go back and play previous levels and try to get them 3-star them and stuff or whatever.
Like the Angry Birds thing.
Yeah, you can go back and repeat stuff, and that's pretty easy. So it'd be easy to come back to in the sense that you could go back and like play an easy level to be like, what the hell am I doing? It's not like one of those games where you walk away from it, you come back, and you're like, I have no idea what's going on. Like,
why is Mario a bunny now?
Oops.
Right, yeah. So I could come back to it. I might someday. But the game I played the most on vacation, the little game that came out almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley came out on Nintendo Switch.
Very good game.
Oh, the Nintendo's Switch.
The Nintendo Switch, yes.
Did you play Stardew before?
I'm like mini games. I bought it, but I didn't. I did. I played. I think I play. I can actually tell you. I played. Oh my god.
Oh, what was that?
Sorry.
Your dinner acting up?
Somebody's excited.
It's the number one rule. It's the number one rule in the podcast. No dogs.
Right. I'm sorry.
Hold on, I'll be over there in a minute.
For those who don't know, Seth puts down animals for a living.
Animal control. No, it's okay. We're good. No, I played 3 hours of Stardew Valley on PC, and then I've already put like 50 hours in.
So tell me about Stardew and why Harvey is best boy.
Harvey? Well, Harvey is the doctor. So that's his first. Like that's a really good thing. I didn't know you had a crush on Harvey though.
No, I'd pulled up the characters because I'd forgotten them. I saw the mustache Harvey man.
Oh yeah,
and I'd forgotten about him.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
Right.
I've never gone.
I know it's what you aspire to be. So.
Okay. All right. That's just about enough of that.
Oh, going right for the jugular.
Right. But yeah, just for people that don't know, Stardew Valley, really quick, it's Harvest Moon. See, that was fast.
I thought you were gonna say, for those of you who don't know, I'm a doctor.
No, I was never gonna say that.
I can definitely imagine a world with that happen too.
I kind of wish it did.
Man.
That would make everyone so happy.
Woo. Anyway, so Stardew Valley, you got farming, you got marriage, you got rocks, you got trips, you got.
Yeah, it's kind of more like Rune Factory than Harvest Moon because it does have a combat element with multiple weapon types, and they play differently a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it like it's got so much shit in it, and I could see them still making more stuff.
It's very large.
And it's huge.
I can't believe one guy made all this. Pretty much.
I'm incredibly impressed. It took him a really long time, I guess.
It did, but still, I mean.
Right? No, definitely. It was his first game, and I don't think he actually had any. Like from what I understand, it was like a side gig for him. Like he just worked on it.
I mean, it's like the crap. What's that? what's that game that's like the Mother games?
The
That's
game
it's
that's
like
like
a
Earthbound. You talk
kid,
about Undertale.
Undertale.
Oh,
It's like that
yeah.
kind of thing where the guy made all the music, he made all the art,
Right.
he did
Undertale's
all of it himself. Like, it's the same deal. I think this game's a little more impressive, but
it's I don't know if it's better, but it's definitely more impressive, just in terms of like what all you get, because there's
right.
just so much in this game.
Because Undertale, it's like static screens for like all the battles, and where this is just there's some moving around, but man, this game is just so much more impressive that it was one guy.
The battles aren't really static in Undertale.
The little menu where you're moving the heart is not count.
Have you played Undertale?
No, but I've watched quite a bit.
Okay. The Sands fight is an example where they take the idea of, it's just a heart in a box, and then suddenly it becomes the entirety of the screen.
Okay, I was about to ask if you meant the one where it breaks the box and
stuff.
But
There's a lot of stuff in that game. There's also a lot of stuff out of that game, including the character who got eaten by the world machine, so he's leaving secret files on your desktop and shit. That not to say it's not impressive or whatever. I got you.
It's not what I meant. I meant purely in terms of like.
You just say sprite art.
The graphic engine, how everything works that way. I mean, it looks in a lot of ways and feels better than Harvest Moon games. I mean,
it is better than Harvest Moon games. This is tough for me. I think I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of the aesthetic personally. But I think it's got it does a lot. It does more right than Harvest Moon has done right in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Especially in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, Harvest Moon's just got kind of static, which he even said. I've seen interviews with him where he's talked about it, and he said the reason he kind of made the game was it was a love letter to his favorite Harvest Moon game, which was he really liked 64, and he felt like after I think it's the PlayStation 1 version of that. Wonderful Life.
I mean, there's so
I don't know.
many
I forget. But anyways, he said he felt like the series just wasn't doing anything new or progressive anymore. And if you look at it, he's not wrong. Like adding alpacas does not a new game make.
No.
So I mean, he did a lot more.
What?
Just that adding alpacas does not new game make.
Oh,
it does not. There's an A in there. Anyways, it was an okay sentence. It was meant to be impactful.
I mean, the Harvest Moon games, it was the same game every time. They just sometimes will look a little different, or maybe add an animal here or there.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've got better girls. That's one thing. This game's waifu selection has some really questionable choices. He really wanted to represent the full spectrum of people out there in the world, which is fine. The problem is the full spectrum of people out there in the world is got a lot of just garbage in it. So when you represent the whole thing, it's not like this is supposed to be a fantasy. Not like, oh God.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I work with that one. Ugh.
Yeah. There's a couple in there that's like
that just feel like that. I mean, which again, he didn't want to make it. It's not supposed to be.
It's his game, his decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His waifus.
His favorite girl is the same one that you married, so his taste is questionable.
Penny?
Yeah, it's his favorite.
The trailer girl?
Old trailer trashed herself.
I took it from rags to riches.
Listen, I married the cheerleader. I saved the cheerleader.
Of course you did.
Did you save the world?
I didn't.
Oh.
My grandpa hasn't come back to tell me how good I did yet.
Oh,
I'm 50 hours in, and I haven't even reached the point where Grandpa tells me how good I did.
I put 60 to 80 hours into that game.
Yeah, it's a big game.
I didn't have a whole lot to do while I was in Korea. But
I'm in summer of year 2 right now. And
year 2,
that's
okay.
quite an investment. One thing I will say, cautionary tale for people on Switch, specifically. Game has some bugs.
But oh, really?
Yes.
I mean, I would assume there's some frame rate stuff, but
no, not so much that. I've heard about a bunch of bugs, but the one that I've encountered that's really upsetting. The only way to save, there's no way to manually save the game. You just go to bed. If every time you go to bed, it saves everything you did for the day. So you can't save it like, oh, it's 2 p.m. I'm not done, but I need to put this down. You can't just save it right there and come back to that state. You can sleep your Switch, obviously, but you can't save it. So when you go to bed at night, it tallies up everything that happened in the day. It sells all your shit that you put in the bin, and it takes an inventory of everything you own. Apparently on Switch, apparently on all the versions, it does this, but on Switch, the Switch is not powerful enough to handle this. And sometimes if you've to upgrade a tool in that game, you have to give money, the tool itself, and then some item to the blacksmith, and he takes the tool away from you for like 2 days while he upgrades it, which was also shocking because I couldn't.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
So but anyways, when he takes it away, you're missing a tool, and the game views the missing tool as you can't get tools back. Or I guess they mail them to you or something. If you somehow lose your tool, they'll mail it to you the next day.
Yeah, you have to plan accordingly because you're going to be without it for a couple days.
Right. But every time the game saves at night, it tallies up. And if it can't identify where the tool is, it freaks out for a second. And if you have chests in the game and you have any empty slots in the chest, this is what people are saying is causing it. If you have an empty slot in the chest and you've given one of your tools away for whatever reason, to upgrade it, I guess would be the only reason. The game will crash. It'll hard crash to the home screen, and you'll lose your progress for that day.
Just the day?
Just the day. Your
so
save
it doesn't corrupt the save or anything?
It does not corrupt the save. It just deletes that day. The problem was I did the same day 5 times before I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, that can be really annoying because some days can be a half hour.
Well, and people are still speculating. People are like, this is what we think is causing this, but they don't really know. So... not Mike, Seth, you gonna take care of that?
Please.
So no, I lost. I mean, each day can, depending on what you do in a day can take
a long time.
It can be 30 minutes. I mean, 20, 30 minutes, depending on what you're doing. And to lose that 5 times without, people are like, well, try this, or try this. And I'm still not what I just told you is the current hypothesis. There's no patch incoming to fix it, that he's talked about, understandably, because he's one dude. He's working with another company to put it on Switch.
I mean,
he's working with people.
It took him quite a while to get it on the Switch. Period. So
right. So
it was all that multiplayer they had to put in.
Oh yeah, that's coming too. Which it has.
So that's still not out. Oh, I thought that was out already.
Not yet. Not that I've seen any kind of hooks for. But no one else has it, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Wait, is it online multiplayer?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was going to be local only.
No, I think
it was hey, come over here and watch me pull some turnips out of the ground and marry this trailer girl.
Ooh.
You can marry each other.
I don't even know why you would want to play that game multiplayer, period.
Well, if you're going to lose 30 minutes at a time when your day gets deleted, 2 people, you could probably cut that down to 15.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the hook is for the multiplayer. I know a bunch of people online have been putting up stuff about how to hide your shit from people griefing you in multiplayer. Which I'm like, why would you invite? It's Nintendo, so you need friend codes. You'd have to invite someone in to grief you. Right. But then I remembered who I'm on podcasts with, and I was like, okay.
Is the multiplayer version exclusive to Switch?
It is until next year. They said it's going to launch on Switch first, and then sometime next year the patch is going to go in for the other versions.
That sucks. Anyway.
Okay, so that's all I played.
That's not true. There's a bigger game we're going to talk about later that everybody played.
Oh, I played City Skylines too.
You played more
cities? Wait, City Skylines 2?
I went back to City Skylines. There's been 4 expansions for it, but no, not 2 as well. That game is cool. It's a much better SimCity, and you can go back. That's a game. You talked about going back to a game. That's a game you can go back to, many times.
I've almost bought it quite a few times, but
if it goes on Steam sale, I highly recommend it.
I know. I just haven't been in the mood to play a city sim, so it's
When you go back to it, do you build a new city or do you just go back to whatever you had before?
Oh, I always build a new city. I build new cities while I'm playing it. So I'm like, I'll be in the middle
Just
of playing.
give
I'll be
up.
like, this city is fucked. I'm moving on.
That sounds like SimCity. But all right. Anything else you've been playing?
Just this shit we're gonna talk about later.
Yeah. Okay. Seth, what have you been playing?
Besides the shit for later, downloaded and did the most recent expansion for the Final Fantasy XV, A Legend Returns.
Final Fantasy 15?
I mean 14.
Okay. I said, don't keep
It's one
playing
of
that.
those days.
I mean,
Final Fantasy XIV, A Legend Returns. It's the Return to Ivalice was released. It's the newest in the Final Fantasy.
How's that new housing?
Bullshit. People were happy about it. I mean,
Yeah.
no. It was bad. Square Enix, once again, blunderbuss, fucked up. It within 5 minutes on pretty much every server. Before people could even log on, the houses were gone.
I saw a
very
thing.
bad.
I saw a thing after it had taken place that basically reports were that if you were put in queue, you did not get a house.
Right. You had to log in and
Yeah. That's
not fair.
lame. That's real
just
lame.
not. There are people who the housing thing is more important to others, some people, than it is to others. Obviously.
Right.
And it seems like the people that it's really important for are the ones that just can't seem to get what they want out of it.
Right.
Because, I mean, what happens is your more casual player base are the ones who are going to get more upset about housing.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, the more casual player base aren't the ones that know how or are capable of logging on faster when the game comes up. They're either not on at time or they're just not as focused on getting in there right away and things like that as your raiders and things like that who are like they know how to manage their time and get in there. So your higher end player base is the one that's getting this stuff who they go in their house once a week. And that's not to say they don't deserve their house, because yes, they also deserve their house. It's just, I can tell you a raider that's not going to get their house probably isn't going to bitch as much as a casual player who would spend hours at their house decorating, and that's a
casual player. A casual player is not going to spend hours decorating their house.
They're not going to spend hours doing anything.
I would argue that the people who care most about the housing are the people that are hardcore the hardcore players. But it's probably more important for the game itself that the housing gets fixed, because that should be a feature you should be touting, not a exclusive part of the game that only the top 1%
they should be
can get.
If they're going to do housing the way they have it set up, they need to go ahead and figure out how to set up server space to where there's a house for everybody who wants a house.
Mm-hmm.
That now, maybe not there's a large house or a small house because they have implemented the size thing. Maybe not to where there's one of every type for every person, but every person who wants a house should be able to have a house, and they need to figure out how to get it done. And Yoshi P released an official statement, very upset, very much apologizing for what happened, and saying that they will have new wards in 4.2, I think they said. There will be new houses coming. What is it? Wards are in each zone. What's the zones called? Do you remember? Each zone, regardless.
Like
subdivisions. Wards are the subdivisions.
Right. And then each place has a name. I just can't think of it offhand.
Right.
But each one is getting more wards added to it. So
here's the thing with Yoshi P and their whole response with this housing thing in general. I've really kind of definitely this year have fallen off the whole Yoshi P is good for the game.
Yeah.
Either he is being incredibly fake, or he is a very ignorant man. Because the problems with this game are so in your face and egregious that you'd have to be completely blind to be upset and surprised that your player base are making the complaints that they're making. Because
I'll be 100% honest with you, and this is just us. One of the biggest problems with this game has turned it out to be the community itself.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not a good thing, but what can the producers do about the community?
Well,
besides where their things don't happen.
I think the community has been formed in such a way because of how the game is built, though,
right.
To be honest. You're always going to have those types of players in every MMO. But the problem is the people that have remained have been beaten into
submission,
beaten and coerced into having to have this mentality in this game.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know.
But anyways, housing aside and poor things aside, that there was more to this expansion. There was Return to Evil East. There was quite a bit of good with it. The new 24-man raid was a lot of fun. Yeah. Even I only did it twice, I think. The bosses were really neat. They finally proved that they can make AoEs that happen when the boss, like, when you're doing a fight, Jimmy, and the boss's animation doesn't always line up with the AoE's damage.
Yeah.
Well, there's one of the boss fights in this one where the boss does this figure 8, and after the AoE marker goes away, it has nothing to do with when the damage is coming. It's actually when the boss hits you. And it was just very surprising for me to see that something that should have been done a long time ago, that they can actually do it. They just haven't been doing it.
Well, it could have been something that they just figured out how to program it that well.
That's very true.
And that's a hard thing to do in an MMO, to have the timings run up with all the clients. Because you got to remember their server is talking to everyone there, and then they're getting a response back to the server, and to have all that line up at the same time, that's some pretty fucking good code. So, yeah,
but it did, that's cool, and it was really neat. All the fights, I can tell you, you're going to enjoy even if you wait a year and we go back and do them all.
I mean, eventually I will go back and do it all. I mean, that's just how I started playing that game. Just
there are a lot
to get gaps.
I can tell you, this has been the best expansion in the game, aside from a best patch in the game. I'll say.
I was about to say best patch because there's only been 2 expansions.
Aside from an expansion,
okay.
Right?
So this has been the best
first expansion, okay. But oh man, by far the story in this was great. It tied together. I don't know if they hired somebody new, if these guys have figured it out. Did you notice in 4.0 how much better the storyline tied together? Just everything flowed so much smoother with the story they were trying to tell.
Well, I think part of that is this is kind of the first time that this team has kind of gotten to tell their own thing.
Yeah.
Heaven's Sword very much felt like it was still going in the direction of kind of what was laid out with 1.0 a little bit.
Yeah.
This was entirely them. So that could be part of it. Could be some new writers.
It's good, though. It continued. What we were talking about there continued in 4.1. The story, phenomenal.
I mean, the story in this game has always been but
maybe not its strongest.
Not its strongest thing, but it's definitely been up there.
Well, they tell a good story, but some of the things they add don't always tie together. Like some of the dungeons, you're like, okay, the main MSQ just made me go through this dungeon, and it makes absolutely no sense why it made me do that. That's not the case ever since 4.0 launched and moving into 4.1. All the dungeons make sense. All the trials make sense. And I think it immerses you more into the game that those type of things flow so well with the storyline that first time you do them.
Yeah.
But yeah, new dungeon's good. 24-man raid is good. It's good fun. It wasn't enough to keep me playing more than 2 days. But
it sounds like it's not worth coming back for just for that patch right now.
No, I mean
with this game and the current way that they're making this game, I recommend that people wait a year or two and then just go play it a shit ton and then take another break.
Unless you were going to be a hardcore raider.
Right.
That is how. Which, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you.
Who? Me?
You, yes.
Okay.
Did you see that the new raid got released? The Ultimate. Binding Coils of Bahamut Ultimate.
The Bahamut Ultimate? Yeah, I saw that.
It just got beat either today or yesterday.
Oh, 17 hours ago, I believe.
Yes.
Wow.
It was that hard. Like, the leading...
Who beat it?
I don't even know their name. It was some Japanese people. Angered Free Company, who has been getting all the world's first, released 3 days ago that they quit. They were done.
They quit.
They're not progressing. They couldn't do it right now. They quit. I mean, it. And I've been meaning to talk to you. I'm glad we saved it for.
And I've seen them play. I've seen them do fights.
They quit, Jimmy.
Wow. I've never seen a more uniformed MMO experience than watching them do fights.
Yeah.
That's wow. If they fuck.
Apparently, it was crazy, and there's only been one group kill it. It's a lot.
I might have to watch some videos of this if it's that hard. Now, is it an eye level thing?
No, eye level has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
It affects it in no way. This is completely a skill mechanic gap. Basically, the only words I've seen used to describe it is mechanic vomit.
Okay.
And
now, did they get lucky when they beat it, or were they legit?
I have no clue. I haven't seen a kill video. I can tell you, you fight Twin Tanya, and then you fight Naldus Darnus, and then you fight Bahamut. Naldus Darnus has 5 dragons with her, and then you fight all 3 of them at once.
I keep forgetting that they turned him into a girl for that fight. That's so funny.
Yeah.
But anyway.
If at any point during this fight you wipe, you don't start at wherever you were. You start over.
Okay.
It's a lot. So the progressions, like each phase transition, when people would finally beat a phase, the people would wipe instantly. It's rough from the stuff I have seen. And man, for it to have taken that long, the producer said when they were making this content, I mean, you asked for this was the only way they would describe it.
Right. People have been asking for incredibly hard fights in the game.
And they did it.
That's cool. I'm glad they delivered on that. Like, I have no inkling to be a part of any of that bullshit myself. But I'm glad that crowd has something to work towards.
Right. And I'm glad to see it was difficult to make. I hate it for Angered because they are a very skilled group and they know what they're doing. But for them to have released content that could push Angered to that level definitely speaks for Square Enix. And nobody should ever say that they can't release difficult content anymore, which is what they were saying.
Well, I don't know if people were saying that they couldn't. I think they were saying that they wouldn't. Because I mean, it's not hard.
They couldn't design it.
It's not hard to make something impossible.
Well, that was the question, was whether or not they had made it impossible, and from what you're talking,
that's why I was asking if it was basically the stars had aligned and that Japanese group had beaten it, because it very much sounded like if Anger can't beat it, then to me that says we've put the bar on impossible, and let's see if anyone can actually do it.
I don't know. It was something though. I'm happy.
I'll have to check this out. That sounds.
I'm happy for the group. I'm glad the fight they went with. The story, the rating in Coil was great. I mean, it was a good place to start. The choice for the Ultimate was either what they did, the Binding Coil of Bahamut, or they were going to remake Titan. And Titan will be the next Ultimate fight. Apparently.
Oh God, that sounds horrible.
Yeah. And a Titan fight on this level. The same person who created Titan is the man who did this fight.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
I hate Titan Extreme still.
Oh, everybody does.
Like even just being able to blow it away. Like I hate that fight so much.
Everybody does. And can you imagine when it gets into Ultimate?
No thanks.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing, and that's where that game is currently. It's kind of exciting. I'm happy for them. It's something new.
I would very much like to see that game go in a different direction at some point, but I mean, as it stands, as long as I can have fun with it every 1 or 2 years, I'm okay.
Right.
I wanted to ask. I forgot to. This patch is Return to Evilise, right?
Right.
And that's the like tactics /
Final Fantasy
12
world
or whatever.
Yes.
Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy 12 world.
So are the bosses in the 24-man just references to that stuff? Are they pulled from like?
From what I understand, it's the actual.
Okay.
The actual things from the game, right?
Right. What were the Avatar-esque things called in 12?
I can't remember.
And Tactics. Anyways, they are pulled directly from the game, pretty much. Okay. Some things are changed slightly for what they need to fit 14.
Do you fight like what were they, like the general guys?
No. It's like the Avatar-esque.
Like the summons?
Yes.
The judges?
No.
The judges is what I was trying to think of.
It starts with an M, if I'm not mistaken.
An M.
Mega Man's.
Avalons? Or
something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
But anyway,
I know what you're talking about. But.
Yeah, that's what it has to deal with. It's and you fight those for each of the bosses. The final boss, what I don't remember his name, but it was good. It is neither. It's not the one from 12. It's not the one from Tactics. It is the one from 14. The Evilise is its own Evilise, as with everything else in 14. They've stated when they release content that is similar, it is similar, but it's its own thing.
Right.
You have to remember that going in. So characters that have died in 12 might
characters that aren't
reappear.
around anymore in those universes can be around in here because it's not the same. Yeah. I mean, it's like the whole DC universe, Infinite Earths complex, right? I mean, in another world / dimension, Final Fantasy VI is real. In another world dimension, Final Fantasy XI is real. Like that's how they've kind of built that, so they can pull assets from any Final Fantasy and get on that nostalgia train. So,
choo choo.
Yeah,
it's my favorite 24-man raid.
That's cool. Maybe better than Crystal Tower?
Oh, by far. It's the best 24-man raid they've released.
Okay.
And I can't
I enjoyed the original Crystal Tower quite a bit.
They changed the original Crystal Tower to
again?
A one tank. You no longer have 2 tanks in each party. It's a one tank thing to match the rest of them, because now they added the roulette.
Oh, so, right.
That's a new thing.
Yeah, that'd be difficult to do a roulette for if you're playing different players for each one.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but it was definitely something worth hitting. It's in a good place right now, just not where I want it to be. For what they want it to be, it's in a good place.
I'm not even sure it's where they want it to be, but I mean,
they've said that they're okay with people don't stay sub.
Well, I didn't mean it in that regard, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Mike.
That's my name.
Michaelis.
That's half of my name. You got most of it. You added a little bit at the beginning.
Of the beginning.
That isn't there normally.
Olus.
Yeah.
So Olus Michael.
Yes. Thank you.
Finally,
as they pronounce it in the old world.
Yes. Old world pronunciation. What you been playing?
Oh, you know me. I've been playing everybody's favorite video game in the entire world.
Yeah?
Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
Oh, yeah.
You thought I forgot, but I did not.
I forgot. It wasn't it wasn't that I thought you forgot. It's that I forgot.
So you and I both subscribed to I guess at this point it would be last month's
Humble, yeah,
for the monthly bundle.
Mm-hmm.
And Humble does this thing where every monthly bundle comes with what they call a Humble Original, which is...
We'll see if that continues.
Yeah. Find out more of that in the news section. But the idea is every Humble Bundle would come with a original indie title that was made for that bundle. Could be sold later at other places or whatever, but debuts there.
An exclusive new game.
Yes, pretty much. And this month, or the last month, the month where we subscribed, was a game called Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. That's the full title. Made by a man named Bennett Foddy. Who you probably don't know, but he did make a game called QWOP.
I say he makes a game you probably know of.
Yes. QWOP, if you're unfamiliar, is a game where you have to run, I believe, a 100-yard dash using the Q, W, O, and P keys.
And they control a different arm and or leg.
Yes, to control different parts of the muscles in your leg. Eventually hurdles show up too, so I guess it's hurdles, not a meter dash. But anyways...
Yeah.
This game...
Very difficult.
Yes, QWOP is very difficult. This game, also very difficult.
I would say QWOP is harder, to be honest.
Probably, just because it's real hard to wrap your head around it. But if you figure out QWOP, it gets pretty easy. This game, though, to explain a little bit, is about climbing and the frustrations involved with losing progress, both in the real world and in a video game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because this game stars a man in a cast iron pot who's not wearing a shirt and I don't believe has any hair. The only thing he has other than his pot is his delicious man fluids that he sits in and his big sledgehammer that you use to climb over things.
It's great.
The only input for this game is your mouse. You swing the hammer and use physics to leverage yourself up and onto things, poke a stick over to stuff, catch yourself and fling.
It's just the movement of the mouse. There's no clicking involved. You can swing. You move the hammer 360 degrees by moving the mouse around, and you use momentum based on how fast you're swinging the hammer to kind of swing around the places, and you have to be very precise and catch yourself with the hammer. So yeah, it's a physics nightmare in the sense that none of these things make sense. But yeah, it's very cool.
It's very cool. And to quote the trailer, Bennett Foddy made this game for a special kind of person, to hurt them.
Yeah.
Because it is not uncommon to spend hours making progress, miss one jump, and be all the way back at the beginning of the game.
Yep. It's the Dark Souls of QWOP.
Yes. It is the Dark Souls of QWOP.
To bring that old dirty phrase back, you know.
Prepare to cry as your pot man falls all the way down. And it was double fun for me because I'd make all this progress and I would save and quit because the game promises you he will save everything, your success and your failures, so you can't just like alt F4 out if you're about to fall off or something.
Right.
Except my game wasn't saving correctly, so I would make 3-4 hours worth of progress, turn it off, and I'm back at the start. Make 3-4 hours worth of progress, turn it off, and I'm back at the start.
I was thinking about this. I was wondering how he quite did that. This is just a weird side note here with the whole saving thing. I bet what happens is when you turn on the game, when you load a save, it wipes the save.
So that's my suspicion based off emailing him, because I did get in contact to try to troubleshoot this issue. The game on Windows saves to your registry.
Right.
And so yes, my suspicion is that it saves to the registry, and then as soon as you load, it deletes that save and generates a new one when the application closes. The problem was
it wasn't making a new one.
It wasn't making a new one, or it was like saving bad data before it actually went because it didn't have correct permissions with the registry. I had to do some quick tweaking.
You ran it as administrator and it worked, right?
Right. I think I might have just misclicked at the beginning when I launched that thing and didn't let it do that the first time.
Interesting.
But no, that game if you want to see that game, because it's not going to be it's not for sale until sometime in December on Steam.
Oh, is it that long?
It is that long.
Can you get it? Can you buy it from Humble themselves yet?
So if you subscribe to their monthly bundle, you get all of their Humble originals, which means you'll get a copy of it as well.
That's what, $12?
$12. It might be $20 for this next one. I looked at it and it was like,
okay.
I think it was like $20 to get H1Z1, or something, because that's their newest bundle. Yeah, hey, you're not wrong. But no, I've been playing that game, and we streamed a little bit of it, and there might be some YouTube videos of that.
Once things calm down a little bit in certain areas with the holidays and other things, I would like to play more of that game on stream. I think that would be fun.
Look forward around Christmas time for a Paul Plays Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
That'd be really good.
That's not going to happen.
We'll see. We'll see, Christmas boy.
The only thing you have to give Jamie for Christmas is your soul.
What do you mean? What do you mean give? I already have it.
Yeah. But
cool.
But no, that game was pretty good and fun.
We played some Divinity, didn't we? We played. Yes. We did some co-op stuff.
Yes. While our good buddy Paul was breaking into lava houses, we decided we would start up a 2-player co-op stream, not stream, but 2-player co-op game.
Right.
Using the Lone Wolf perk, which, despite being called Lone Wolf, lets you have another person in your party.
Have one partner, yeah.
So we both just took that and then went to the workshop and said, "Hey, give us all the good mods."
New classes, some quality of life things.
Run 8 times as fast. See the tooltip for everything before you eat it.
Man, when we that's also been released, but when we go back to playing all together again one day,
it's gonna be real sad.
That's gonna be the hardest part, is going back to the normal run speed.
Are you sure it's not gonna be fucking the fact that you won't be able to do 800 points of piercing damage on an attack?
That's completely broken, and I can live with that.
The fact that after a fight we can just click on our bedrolls to replenish all our stores, so we don't need to teleport around the map looking for a fountain.
That's real nice too. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of quality. The fact that items will be just added to your hotbar again, because that's a mod.
I'm starting to wonder if the
achievements
are worth it, like, because man, those few things we added are really
the quality
nice.
of life stuff's real good.
Yeah.
But we played some of that. I think we're about the same place as we are in our 4-player game.
We are just about caught up, just a few quests behind.
And we diverged a little bit in some places too.
Yeah, so. We went north and a little west, I think.
Yeah, we played some of that. That was pretty good. Definitely still recommend Divinity 2. Played a little bit of this game. It's called Throne of Lies. Buddy of mine bought it for me so that I could download it and give it to him, because his internet's slow, and I get the benefit of that, I guess. But
I remember you telling me about this game. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. I know you had it in your list on our spreadsheet here, but like, it's like, what the hell is Throne of Lies?
This?
Yeah.
Like, why is he putting more garbage in this bullshit?
When you said you bought it for your buddy, that reminded me.
Yeah.
Or he bought it for whatever. Yeah.
But no, so if you're familiar with the social games Mafia or Werewolf, where there is an informed minority versus the uninformed majority, with player elimination, where you get to lynch people and sometimes the minority can kill and stuff. That's a bad sentence out of context.
Yeah. A little bit.
It's that style of game. This game
I don't know if it's worse than your Columbine joke though.
No, that joke was bad. And now that you've referenced it, I know it's definitely in the podcast. So
of course it is.
Love it to death. We'll see. Yeah. But anyways, that game. The interesting hook for this game seems to be the fact that the evil players can convert the good players to their side. So you can scan somebody as like a cop or whatever, be like, oh no, this guy's a good guy, and then the next night, oh, they've been converted to the bad guy side now. And so now I need to... So basically you're always suspicious, even of people that have been like confirmed good or whatever. There are a couple classes and a couple roles that are immune to that. And so you still have a couple people that are like, okay, we know you're this, so we know you're always good. Or we know you're this, we know you can't be killed at night, so we can work with you to do some stuff or whatever.
I was really curious, what's the interface like in this game?
It's weird. So this game was kickstarted, and it's got 3D models, because of course it does. They need to be able to sell you gold for real money so you can buy like outfits and skins and animations. But it's mostly mouse-based. You click on your ability to use it, and then it comes up with like a grid of numbers, because everybody's numbered in that game. And so you like in each match or whatever, it'll be like, okay, I want to use this ability, and it'll pop up like 1 through 25, and you click on the number of the person you want to do it to. You can click on or hit tab, I think, to pull up like a journal, so you can like leave a log of what you know about the game and your notes and stuff. It's kind of interesting. If you're a class that can kill, you get to draw your own like note that you leave behind. So you can like draw a murder note that gets left on bodies whenever you kill them, that shows up so everybody can see it and stuff. It's fun. I mean,
it might be a fun little game we could all play together sometime.
Yeah, totally. It's like $10. It's definitely, I think if you like those kinds of games, check it out. If you've played Town of Salem, which I think is free in browser, $5 on Steam, it's very, very similar to that. A large part of that community, I think, moved over.
What was the game called again?
Town of Salem, which is basically Mafia, but with witches instead of
I think werewolves. I've heard of that before.
So many people in that community moved over and started using terms that were like, oh, show us your logs, because that game has a logbook, not a journal. And oh, tell us this thing, because that game has that and this game doesn't.
The community lingo moved over, and
the lingo moved over.
New players don't know.
New players don't know, and so the developers, in an attempt to help with that, have been like putting in word filters. Like at one point, if you use the word will, it got auto-changed to journal, because this game has a journal, doesn't have a will. But then that would cause problems where you would say, I'll heal you, will heal me, right? Would turn into, you journal heal me, right? And so they had to go back on that stuff. And actually, one of the most recent patches, I say one of, because this game fucking gets patched every day almost. One of the most recent patches literally just changed the journal in this game from being called the journal to the logbook, because so many people in the community would say, tell me your logs. And they didn't want new players confused by going, do you want my entire chat log? Do you want the stuff, like the notes of what I've been doing each night? Like, what does that mean? So they changed it to logbook in game, so you can be like, give me your logs. Okay, I'll give you the thing of like these records I've been keeping or whatever. It's like two guys making it. It definitely seems like it's like their dream project. Like they really wanted to make one of these types of games, and they're really gung-ho about doing it. Like I said, it's been getting patched almost every day.
That kind of thing's been happening a lot more, and it's been good to see that there's games being made. I mean, like the Stardew thing. It's the same. Yeah, totally. It's nice to see that stuff is happening, especially in the AAA world that we've been in for so long.
Right. I will say a little bit of hesitation on this game before I would recommend it. Like, I would say check it out if you're into these types of games for sure. If you're not sure, or if you're not sure if you like these games with strangers, because it's 16 random players unless you bring a bunch of friends in, they seem to not. To give you an example, one of the roles at the beginning of this game was called the priest. He was a good guy. He couldn't be converted to the bad guys. He had to be attacked twice before he would be killed at night. He had the power to bring a dead person back to life, could talk with all the dead people at night, and had a power during the day that would keep somebody alive that next night.
That seems overpowered as fuck.
And so what happened was, that class existed but wasn't guaranteed to be in every game. And then that class was then guaranteed to be in every game. And then the next patch, that class lost half of its abilities and gained 2 new ones. And then the patch after that, it lost one of those abilities, gained half of its old abilities, and lost some of its immunity.
Hold on, let me start writing this down.
Right, totally. Like, I'm not even kidding. When I was learning to play this game, I was asking for help from people when I was dead, and they would be like, oh, this is what this class can do, I think. It did this last week, but maybe not before. So it was weird. I don't know. But yeah, I think if you're into those types of games, check it out, or at least keep an eye on it. But
so I might YouTube a game of it at some point to see if I might be interested in playing it, or maybe you could stream it one night or something.
Yeah, totally. I'd be down for that. Especially like the thing that's like, it's like they're like, hey, you can stream this, just don't link your stream in game because people can cheat. And it's like, okay, sure.
Right. All right.
But that's not the only thing I've been playing.
You've been playing Mario, right?
Yes. So you ruined the big surprise, but I've achieved Nintendo Switchitude.
Oh, well, that doesn't mean you bought a Switch. You could have been playing Mario Sunshine.
No one plays Mario Sunshine. Come on. We're so far along now. People know better. You'd have to be a damned fool to be playing Mario Sunshine.
Splash! I'm drowning this game because it's garbage.
Splish Splash! This game's holding my head underwater.
Right.
No, I went and got a Nintendo Switch just a couple days ago, and the only game I have to play on it right now is a copy of Mario I'm borrowing from a friend. But I think if I had to pick one Switch game, I think I've made a pretty good choice.
I think so. Yeah.
This game is huge, from what I can tell. Like, Breath of the Wild earlier this year had over 800 Korok seeds to collect. They did very little for you after a certain point. They were just a fun collectible to get. Mm-hmm. This game has that for its main collectible.
I forget. What was the
final reward?
Yeah.
It was a big golden shit. You literally got a golden pile of poo because the whole joke was the Korok seeds they was just shit the Koroks were leaving behind.
Oh, that's right.
So you just got a golden poo.
Yeah. I remember now.
Hopefully this game you also get a golden poo if you collect all 800 fucking moons or whatever.
That makes sense.
But no, this game is huge. It's a return to the 64/Sunshine style of levels as opposed to.
Well, it's that same team, right?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
So I think they have separate Mario teams. I think the 64 Sunshine team is the one who made this.
It definitely feels like it. It's got the thing like every shine. You got me thinking about sunshine.
It was.
Every moon.
Well, I mean, instead of shines, it's moons, right?
Right. It's moons instead of stars or shines. It's
right.
But every moon has a funny name that references kind of how you got it or whatever. There are just there's 60, 70 in most worlds that you can collect, and they do the thing where sometimes the camera kind of pans and zooms in to show you kind of where you need to go to find them and stuff. It doesn't have that feeling that Galaxies the Galaxy games were very good, but they definitely had this you're kind of going on a linear path from planet to planet. This game feels more like we took a big level. Everything is here. Go find it.
Speaking of Galaxy, just curious.
Yeah.
Where do you fit on the Galaxy 1 or Galaxy 2 bandwagon?
Galaxy 2, I think. At this point, I'm so far apart they blend together in my memory.
They're both fantastic games.
Galaxy 2 had the rock suit, right? Because if so,
I'm
that
gonna
part
say
sucked.
yes because I know it's not in Galaxy 1. Well, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Both Galaxy games kind of blend together in my head.
Because Galaxy 1's the hub worlds, and Galaxy 2 is more like the Mario 3 thing, where you're going along the grid base levels.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I liked Galaxy 1 way more than Galaxy 2.
Well, you just like hub worlds.
It's not just that. I thought the level design in 1 was way better.
Well, I mean, 1 was all the, if you think about just the way those games were made, 1 was here's all the good shit. And then 2 was we made a bunch of shit. It's also still really good.
Yeah.
It's just not up to this other standard that we had, so here it is.
It just seems like there's a whole lot more people who think Galaxy 2 is better, and I don't get it.
I mean, it's got a 2 in the title. Mass Effect 2 is better, according to a lot of people.
Even though
Halo 2 is better, according to a lot of people. If you put a 2 in your title, I think people like it more. Which is why...
yeah. I mean, sequels do boot better at the box office.
It's why that other game we're going to talk about people seem to really like. But no, I'm not the only one who's been playing this game either, right? You and Paul have both been playing at least a little bit.
Yeah, I played it I played it during one of my lunch hours.
Nice.
And the 45 minutes I was playing it, my Switch died to 15%.
Oh, that doesn't seem... Well, maybe that's normal. I don't know.
That's from what I've been hearing around, that sounds normal or whatever.
No, I don't think so. I play my Switch Portable almost all the time.
I don't.
And even
That
playing
really
Mario,
sucks.
I've probably put like 4 hours into it.
Are you putting it in airplane mode or anything?
No, actually, right now it's not in airplane mode, and I had the sound on at one point.
That means I have a bad Switch.
I mean, I don't know. If you've been reading stuff that says that, maybe I just have a really good one.
I was basing it on what I was talking with you about, really.
Oh, yeah, no,
I mean, I had the speakers on, and it didn't have it in airplane mode.
I don't know. I played for like probably an hour and a half today, and I went down from 100 to 73.
What the fuck? I have a bad Switch.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, hey, good news. We're less than a year out from launch, right? So you should be under warranty.
Yeah. I played until 5 minutes till 8, and I got home at like 6:30, 6:40. So whatever that comes out to.
Motherfucker.
Hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes.
Give it to the UPS guy and tell him he's not allowed to play it until it gets to Nintendo headquarters in Japan. And then they'll
part of me wonders if you really care that much, though, because you don't really. I mean, I know you care in general.
I mean, I'm starting.
It would be a bigger problem for me than it would be for you.
Yes, I mean, there's that. I mean, I don't know.
There's also third-party battery packs. They're always an option. I don't know. RMAing it seems like a pain in the ass.
Right. I don't want to do that.
Plus, I think you're outside the window for just an easy send back.
Oh yeah, I'm way past the 3 months that Amazon would do.
Right.
But sucks.
I see. Aside from showing the world that your Switch is bad,
what'd you think of the game?
Yeah, what do you think of the game?
I don't know. I think so far I am a hair bit disappointed, to be honest.
You haven't even gotten to the part where you can't possess guys yet.
I think it's mostly in the terms of I don't know if I really like the gimmick. The hat thing.
The hat thing?
Yeah.
I mean,
the taking over stuff I think is fine. I think that's kind of cool.
You're talking about using it as a weapon?
It's the movement
sort of?
and as a weapon, and I don't really think I like that so far.
I think put some more time with it.
Okay.
Because I definitely had a lot of like, well, I'm never going to use this fucking hat for anything other than like, this is my attack now, I guess, if I need to hit something that I can't jump on. But in the most recent world that I've been playing, there's definitely been times where I've looked at stuff and been like, okay, if I throw the hat here and then dive on it, I can try to angle back to get a wall jump off of that, to then throw the hat again, to dive off of it again, to then dive a third time to get an incredible like horizontal distance so that I can cover large gaps that I probably wasn't supposed to go that way. Like I can avoid switches and stuff that make temporary platforms. I could get up from places I feel like I probably shouldn't have been able to get up from and stuff. It's been pretty cool. But I definitely think there's a not necessarily learning curve, but a getting used to having that stuff in Mario's toolbox.
Well, I don't think it's so much as I don't want to use it type deal, in so much that it's kind of like the flood thing. Yeah, it adds all these kind of new abilities that you're able to do. But do I want to do them?
Yeah.
I think it's
the motion
I think my big thing is I would kind of rather just be regular Mario.
No good.
Yeah. Like Galaxy. Like the gimmick was the planets and stuff, not Mario's movement. Mario's movement is you know, it's so perfect in my eyes. Like the way you control the 3D Mario's like 64 and Galaxy and stuff. Like that's just, to me it's perfect.
64 had a hat gimmick though. You could fly.
You could fly.
It turned into metal.
Yeah.
What if Mario turned into metal in this game?
I'm sure he does at some point.
Oh, God damn it! I was gonna.
I'll say it is crazy. This game doesn't really have any. I have not come across any like power ups.
There aren't like it feels like power ups have been replaced with possessions.
Right. I figured that's what it was going to be.
So there's no star. There's no flower. There's
no star. No flower.
Which is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. That's maybe the biggest like diversion, or not diversion, but
I kind of didn't even think about that. Because they've showed this game off so much, and it's not in it. And I've kind of forgotten that those
aren't there. Yeah, totally.
But like you said, the argument is possessions give you even more abilities, then that would.
At one point, I possessed a human man, and I got to drive an RC car around.
Oh, God.
I'm ill.
Oh, man. I don't know. Like I said, just a hair bit disappointed. I still really want to play it. I was pretty high on the game, like in terms of how I was thinking about it. So, still being a hair bit disappointed, that has not deterred me in any way, shape, or form from wanting to play this game.
No, you've just.
And I'm hoping as I do get
45 minutes is not much.
No, it's not.
That, so
yes, it's not much time.
Yeah, totally.
Just you asked me just based on what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to play a lot more of it. I just don't know when, because I have some things I've been playing. And
like I say, well, shit, Jimmy, if you're not playing Mario, what have you been playing?
Is there anything else? I mean,
so I started playing Shadow of Mordor, which I mentioned in the last podcast.
Oh, the elf game.
Yes, I beat that.
How would you think of it?
I thought it was good.
Oh, right, I beat that game too. Did I beat that before the last podcast?
No, you started playing it after I did and then beat it.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I beat that game too.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was a fun little, 12-hour game or whatever.
Celebrimbor!
15 to 20-hour game. It was fine. I think I would like it better if they just went crazy and said everything's non-canon and here is what we're gonna fucking do. Like
Celebrimbor!
But
I have a game for you.
It's called Lord of the Rings, the MMO. I forgot what it's called.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was saying Shadow of War's fucking.
But I hear they still kind of wrap it around that hey, Lord of the Rings can still happen.
Yeah, no, they do. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think
that's the stuff.
They don't totally throw it out, I guess.
That's what's annoying to me. Like I just want them to take it and go with it.
So you just want to read? You just want official fanfic?
Yes. Why not?
Give me $20.
I mean, it already is a fanfic. It already is a fanfic. This shit isn't canon. Just run with it. Just run with it. No, it's not.
Yeah, Tolkien's kids were like, all these are canon, or you don't get to make them. Let's look it up. Go to Tolkien's estate, and then just be like, hey, I have some questions for you about the Silmarillion.
Unless it was Tolkien himself. I'm sorry.
I mean, Tolkien's his last name, right? The British government's got you again.
Oh my god. I've also been playing Divinity 2 with you a little bit, which we already mentioned. I barely played Mario. I've been playing this other game.
What have you been doing? My God.
I've been playing this other game.
Getting over it with Bennett Foddy.
Getting over it. What was it called?
It's a little indie game, right?
Well, indie game made by
just a couple people.
By like some company that's real stretchy.
It's Destiny 2.
Destiny 2?
Destiny 2 by Vicarious Visions.
Oh, yeah.
The people who brought us some Barbie game on the GBA, I think.
They made some weird games in their catalog. Yes, Destiny 2 finally. Thank God.
Finally.
Yeah, I feel like it's been forever.
Is it just in time for the internet to start hating that game? You got a hold of it.
Right. I don't hate it though.
Not yet. You have a month.
Not yet. No. I mean that's my pattern with Destiny anyway. Like I play it for a month and a half and then I stop.
Then you're done.
And then a year later I play it for a month and a half and stop.
You're done. Hey, at least this time, if you play it for a month and a half, you'll be in right as the new DLC hits.
That's the benefit of playing it on PC.
Mm-hmm.
That first DLC was something.
The Curse of Osiris.
Curse of the Osiris. Yeah, comes out December 15th. So.
Or isn't it 5th?
Is it 5th? I
thought it was the 5th. I thought it was like super early December.
Let me double check that.
But anyways, it's coming to us relatively much closer than the console release. Players on console have had the game since September, so they've had to go through the entire month of October with very little content updates.
Right. It is December 5th.
Okay.
I don't know why I was thinking the 15th. That would kind of suck because I won't be at home on the 15th. Yeah. I'll be in Ohio visiting you guys. So.
That's when we're going to record our local podcast where everyone's going to just be drunk and yelling at each other about why Persona is the greatest game of all time.
Best game.
Because Seth won't be there to protect you. It'll be 2v1.
Oh, in Ohio. I'll just call him in on the Facebook call.
He can't work at Facebook.
We'll have him.
He's too busy killing dogs.
But yes, Destiny 2. I don't even know where to start.
Start with the beginning. Tell me about the stuff you don't have time to explain while you don't have time to explain.
Yeah, all that gun.
Oh, finally, they're bringing it back. Let's see. Well, here's a good place to start. What class are you playing in Destiny 2?
What?
What class are you playing in Destiny 2?
Well, I have all 3 now.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mainly play my Warlock, just like Destiny 1.
Are you rocking the same Void build?
We have gotten as far as beating the raid.
We have beaten the raid.
Took us 2 nights.
Well,
1.5.
I should note the we here is the collective royal we of Team Bee's Knees, our Destiny 2
yes,
clan.
Our Destiny clan is not everyone here. It was Mike, I, and some other friends we have playing. We have quite a few people playing this game. It's been awesome.
We hope to Seth and Paul
been...
through soon, but
yes, I'd very much like to run it with them as well. Hopefully, Paul, hint.
Well, I'm trying, man.
Winky phase.
I don't want you to quit before we get to the raid. I want you to see this raid.
I think I'm at 235 or 236.
Oh, that's raid ready.
You're almost there.
It's completely not.
You're closer than you've ever been.
It's true.
I am.
Getting there.
So what did you think of the story? Well, let's no end spoilers, because it is still new on PC, I guess.
Yes, it is still new on PC. So comparing it to Destiny 1 story in terms of, I don't know. I mean, there are certain things in Destiny 1 I thought were better.
I think Destiny 1 did the world building and the lore stuff way better.
Yes.
Because instead of writing a story, all they had time to do was write that stuff.
That's what I was trying to, I couldn't figure out how to phrase it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the world building,
I think
the mystery of the world and the lore behind everything, they did a much better job. This one was, hey, we wrote this little story, here you go.
It's like, hey, we wrote a video game story for you.
Yeah. And while it wasn't bad, it wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
I mean, would you say Destiny 2 had a plot and characters, whereas Destiny 1 was just...
I mean, Destiny 1 had a plot and characters.
Yeah, it did. It was. I mean, Destiny 1's biggest problem was mainly how they ended that vanilla story.
Right.
It was very.
Here, spoilers for Destiny 1, if you give a shit. Destiny 1's plot was you go to the moon to investigate. You wake up because you've been born again as a guardian.
Yes.
In the process of learning what that means, you go to the moon and end up waking up an ancient enemy that's sleeping on the moon. Not really ancient. What kind of ancient? Whatever. You wake up.
Probably was ancient, but I mean.
Right.
Yes.
You wake up an enemy on the moon, and then find out that because you're investigating the death of another guardian or something, you get contacted by somebody who's only identified as the stranger, who informs you that, hey, this other faction of enemies, they're also really bad. We got to deal with them before we deal with the moon shit you stirred up also. And then you get to meet another character called the Speaker, who's just like, the ball is good, and then he's kind of bullshit. But the stranger then says, hey, we got to deal with the Vex, these robot guys. And so in the process of dealing with that, you go to Mars.
Time travelers.
Yeah, they're time traveling robots that exist in all times and can alter reality and shit. And they're doing something weird. We got to figure out what's going on with it. You got to deal with it. And so you end up going to the reef to meet this queen out there and her whole kingdom stuff. And she's like, well, here's what I know. Maybe this will help you because you've done me a favor or whatever. And then you go to Mars, which is where she sends you to go. And it turns out the other faction, hey, see, all the factions are accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
The other faction has been drilling and has inadvertently discovered part of the passageway into the Vex. They call it the Black Garden. It's their religious place or something. They worship there. It's kind of unclear. Probably explained in the Grimoire cards more than I've read. But then you take a part of the big ball that gives you power, and it helps you open a passageway into that place, so you can then shoot 3 of their god statues that kind of come to life and fight you. And then at the end, there's a lot of fireworks because everyone's real happy, and the stranger gives you her gun, and then you never.
They were three ancient Vex who had resided there, and then there was that big ball that they never really explained very well.
Right. And then they roll out the raid for that first game, the Vault of Glass, where you learn about a fire team that went to investigate that area and how they all got kind of time fucked because of what the big guy down there can do. And then you and your fire team basically fight throughout millennia to stop him and to kill him in all time, which is kind of really rad.
Just you can split off. You can split off in teams of two. One team is fighting way in the future, and one team is fighting way in the past.
So one team was fighting during Destiny 2?
Way even further. Like, they'd be fighting in, like, Destiny 10.
Oh.
Yeah, it was, they get sent off pretty far.
Well, then why didn't the two that did that come back and tell us what was going to happen in Destiny 2?
Maybe because you're constantly you're constantly getting sent back and forth to these portals. Like, it's not really, hey, we're hanging out here. You're still in this room, but you're still in this area.
Just you're not millions of years in the future.
Yeah, you're not able to see things that are going on outside. You're dealing with this fight in two separate times.
And compounding on the world building stuff, there's a lot of good grimoire cards that talk about, like, well, if we know the Vex exist this many millennia in the future, does that mean we've lost? Do we lose to these guys?
Right.
Like, are we fucked forever and just don't know it yet? But no, like, I think there's a lot, like, compared to Destiny 2, where there's cutscenes, there's characters that tell you their motivations, characters have names that aren't just, I'm the stranger.
Although, seeing, I want to try and be as vague as possible. Seeing things that happened at the end of that raid, things that were said.
I mean, should we just give a spoiler warning here and then talk about it?
Spoiler warning, turn it off for 10 seconds.
For the raid?
Yes.
I haven't cleared the raid yet. Let's not do this yet.
All right, mute yourself for 10 seconds.
Okay, hold on.
I want to bring this up to Mike, and I don't know if he's put it together. Okay. What the Emperor says at the end very much goes in line with some of the things that the stranger was saying.
Yes, and it also ties into some stuff that some Fallen say in other missions.
Yes.
We are building a big team.
Spoilers off.
Do we know anything about the stranger still? Or do we still not know?
Here's what we know about the stranger. She's an EXO, and Luke Smith says she will never appear, or maybe she will.
Yeah, we're fine now, Seth.
Yeah, we're good, Seth. There was an interview with Luke Smith, who was one of the directors for this game, where he was straight up asked, "Hey, is the stranger coming back?" And he's like, "Think of Destiny as like an anthology series of comics. We might tell more stories with the stranger, or we may never see her again."
Yeah, we're never gonna see her again.
So we're never gonna see her again.
Right. So, yeah.
She might show up as like flavor text on a gun.
I mean, Seth, if you really care about some of the, especially like later story, there's like a hour-long video on YouTube you can watch.
It's an hour and 45 minutes.
It just explains everything from Destiny 1.
Yes.
Okay.
It's basically,
so it might be beneficial just to be free to throw it on when you're at work, like listen to it like a podcast.
Because that guy goes through the Grimoire cards and is like, here is the known timeline of events for the entirety of Destiny, including stuff from before the game, stuff that happens during the game, and stuff that gets referenced that would have happened after like the story and stuff. It's very thorough.
So.
Well, you sleep at work. Just don't take a nap.
Anyway, Destiny 2. How are we all feeling on the game? Because I mean, I am feeling extremely high on the game right now. Like it's all I want to do. Like straight up.
I think they make a lot of good, smart changes for Destiny 2. I look forward to seeing them. I look forward to the live team taking over and starting to do live events and making some changes. There's some changes I wish they would make now. I feel like there's no reason to ever do strikes. Public events are faster. Public events get you better gear.
Yes, I was thinking about that last night. I was looking at I was looking to get a certain piece of gear because if I got it, I could have extended up. And I was looking at the thing. I was like, oh wait, there's strikes. Why would I
do that?
I don't need to do that. Like that's that's shitty.
That's 35 minutes of my time to maybe get 3 drops.
Right, that's such a big difference.
I could do 4 public events in that time and get 2 drops guaranteed each time.
Yeah.
It's It's kind of rough. I mean, Destiny 1 by the end of its life though had like strike scoring and stuff. I'm hoping stuff like that comes back.
I think they just need to change some of the strike structure in general to make it worthwhile again.
Mm-hmm. They could add.
I could see them maybe adding shaders to them.
That would be good. I think because the way it currently works, I believe, is the strikes are the loot pool for strikes are just whatever planet the strike is on, which means you're pulling from the same pool the heroic events are and the other stuff on that planet is. So you might get a shader. It's just it's 30 minutes for it. There's no guarantee. I wish like there was give me a guarantee I'm going to get a better chance at loot here or something.
I think it'd be nice if maybe increase Vanguard tokens so you could have a chance at that stuff
too. Yeah.
Maybe the legendary pool of items available could be the same items you get from the faction person on that planet.
That would be cool.
That'd be nice. And also, I would really like to see them bring back the exclusive strike item,
strike specific loot.
That in D1 that was a really cool thing.
Yeah, I was super excited when we did that PlayStation strike on Destiny 1 and one of the Scion's cloaks dropped from my hunter.
Right, those were super cool.
It was a super unique model you could only get from that strike and it was super rare.
I got that Warlock helmet that had like the pipes with electricity running through it.
Yeah, that stuff is really cool. It's really cool, and it's kind of a shame that none of that's in the game yet. I'm sure it'll come at some point. But...
Yeah, that seems like something very much the live team would do. And it's in this game it's nice because if you did do an item like that, you could actually use it unlike Destiny 1.
Right.
Because if you got that helmet in Destiny 1, you didn't want to use it because it didn't have the benefits that the Destiny 1 legendaries had, because a lot of Destiny 1 legendaries, especially the raid stuff, had specific buffs on them. So why would I ever use anything else than raid gear?
Right.
But yeah, that would work in this game the way they've built the mod system, which is, I think, better.
Yes,
I like that mod system a lot because it lets you use the gear you want to use for the most part.
Right. I think there's some work to be done just in getting specific mods.
Yes.
Not necessarily more easily. Like, I mean, hey, charge me 50,000 Glimmer, but let me pick which +5 mod I get. Don't make me spend all of my Glimmer to randomly get one of 7 different types that never line up.
A lot of people are blowing 100k Glimmer and not getting the items they need for a kinetic mod. Because it's the rarest in the game right now. Like, I've got a gun right now that, like, I could put a kinetic mod on it to make it, what would it be, 303, which would be better than anything I have in that slot.
Yeah, that's 2 points away from the cap.
By like 4. But I don't want to do it because I don't want to use my one kinetic mod
on it, right?
I'm guessing the kinetic mod needs to be used for Nameless Midnight, right?
Well, it might. I can't remember if Nameless Midnight came with one or not. I don't think it does.
Mine didn't. No, it
doesn't.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was I used one of the ones. I've gotten 2 of them, and one of the ones I got, I put a Nameless Midnight.
Because I'm still looking for one.
Yeah, that's incredibly frustrating. I mean, I got lucky, but when I was looking it up, I was seeing countless people say like, I've spent a few 100k Glimmer and have not gotten one yet.
I will say I've gotten lucky. I never got one buying random mods, but when I started dismantling purple mods, the very first random weapon mod I got was a kinetic. I was like, okay, I got this. I'm never gonna get this lucky again. I'm done with this for right now, and I walked away. But
wait, dismantling what?
So this is gonna get a bit more mechanical, I think. But because the way the system works is you can buy a random blue quality mod for a certain amount of money. If you get 3 of those, you can upgrade it to a purple mod, purple quality.
Well, some of them take 4 and 5.
Some take 4 and 5, most take 3. And it will give you +5 to your power level and the same perk or whatever. Well, if you have purple tier mods you don't want to use, you can dismantle those, which will give you a component or an item called the mod component. And I want to say if you have 2 of those, you can specify, give me a random purple weapon mod or a random purple armor mod. And I did that for a weapon mod, and the one it gave me was kinetic, which is what I needed.
That was what I did to get my kinetics.
Yeah.
That's what people were recommending. Like, that's the that is the easiest way.
Because I don't know if I ever saw a blue tier kinetic mod come out.
No, I don't think there is one.
Which sucks.
No, yeah, there isn't one. That's what it was. That is the only way you can get one, because there are no blue kinetic mods. You have to combine the 2 purples to get a kinetic mod.
Kinetic?
Yes.
But
I'm remembering that now. I was thinking, because it's been a little while actually since I've done it, a week or so, but yes, you have to combine the 2 broken down purple mods to get a chance at one.
Okay, I'll get y'all to explain that more later.
Once you get the 280 and start doing that,
you have to be 280 to do that.
Yeah, before you can even start messing with this system, you need to be like 20 points away from the level cap right now, which is kind of crazy. That there's this whole system that they they kind of introduced but barely let you touch until you're so high level.
Yeah.
But no, what I'm interested, or who I'm interested to hear from, is Seth, because a couple podcasts ago, or at least one, I think, you had asked me if I thought Destiny 2 would be open and good for players who had never played Destiny 1 before. Now that you've had some time with the game, what do you think?
I love it. I mean, nothing about this story makes me have needed to do that. The only thing is that the only part I have felt behind on is that all of you knew what classes you were good at, knew what you enjoyed playing, whereas I'm just now learning to do that and trying to keep up with y'all as well. That's the only aspect in which I feel behind on. Every other part of the game I feel fine with. The gameplay is awesome. I might or might not be playing it right now.
It's fine. Everyone else but me is playing games too, I'm sure.
That's not true.
But I've been paying attention. But yes, I love it. And that's a lot for me, who PUBG was when I first started playing FPS with you guys, and I'm not a shooter person, and I'm really enjoying this game. It's a lot of fun. It mixes aspects of games that I've always enjoyed with the FPS, and I enjoy it. And no, I haven't felt like the storyline left anything out, being that where I was coming from.
Well, they did a really good job in that opening movie.
Yeah.
I think explaining the things that are important. And man, that opening movie was so good though. In a lot of ways. I really liked the whole Nolan North switching to the ghosts like progressively. Yeah, that was a really cool thing.
That was a good touch.
And like it also adds like a lore thing. It's like, what were these ghosts originally?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like are they just like
were they different? Because they made it seem like they were just machines the Traveler pumped out when like right before he needed to go into his coma.
Right. Like,
but are they actually something different?
Are they sentient beings that just live within the Traveler? Are they like a shard of are they part of the Traveler's consciousness shoved into this machine?
Yeah. Why? I mean, we've learned a lot of things.
How come ours is the only Traveler, or how come ours is the only ghost that talks? These questions and more. Well, I mean, in game at least. They allude to the fact that the other ghosts talk. I just mean that in game, I don't.
I would say I've listened to several Grimoire cards that.
I mean, at there's a strike where Cade says, "I'm going to go talk to my ghost about this."
Okay.
It's just I don't think in game you don't hear.
I don't think I think the thing is I don't think they're audible. I think no, because our ghosts just talk to people.
Our ghosts talk to people because we can't.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't want to get two ghost voice actors, and they didn't want to pose a situation where all the ghosts are Nolan North. Oh my god, it would be so good if in the Curse of Osiris DLC
Nolan North just starts having conversations with himself.
No, Osiris shows up and his ghost is there, and Nolan North flies up and goes,
Dinklage.
Yes,
Peter Dinklage.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Our ghost flies up and says, "Oh, hello, Osiris and Ghost," and then the other ghost is Peter Dinklage that just goes, "Hello." It's like the only voice line Peter Dinklage has in Destiny 2. It's the only one they saved, and it's just Peter Dinklage saying hello as a ghost.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
Like, Osiris has been gone for so long, he didn't get the Nolan North update from the Traveler, so he's still got Dinklebot.
Take the north update. That's really good.
It'll never happen, but I wish it would.
Oh man. That'd be so good.
It'd be so good.
Anyway, the game is very good.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. Yes, I think there are still some design things from Destiny 1 that are better in my just personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
But
the game's still very new as well. So there's
the game is very new, and considering how much Destiny 1 changed over the years.
Yes, totally.
I have very high faith in Bungo.
Bungo isn't going to bungle this one.
That Bungo will take care of the issues that are in the game right now.
It might take him 2 DLCs and then a large DLC.
It might take until next September, which I'm sure it will.
Hopefully, some smaller shit, like the fact that there's a couple perks you just should not ever unlock.
That needs fixed.
That's super egregious and is real bad.
Yes.
Because if you played Destiny 1 but haven't played 2 for whatever reason, in Destiny 1, your talent tree was a bunch of different columns, and you could pick one thing from each column, and you could swap it around at will. In Destiny 2, that's gone away. You have 2 sets of diamonds that you unlock once, like one thing part of the diamond, and once it's unlocked, it's always on. You can only ever turn it off by switching to the other diamond. There are 2 perks for hunters, and I believe 1 or 2 perks for warlocks that...
There's one in 2 of the classes I think you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, it's like, people say, don't unlock these, they ruin the class. And in the hunter's case, at least, both of them are, this turns your super from, say, 3 powerful shots or 1 powerful shot into 6 smaller, weaker shots. The golden gun being the most egregious example. Golden gun should... Well, normally you hit 3 shots with it. It's on a pretty long timer, it's like 30 seconds or something, and it will one-shot most things. With this update, or not update, but with this power-up, this upgrade, it becomes 6 shots that you have to shoot in half the time, that do half the damage. So now you can't even one-shot the lowest tier, like PvE mook. So it's like, oh, there's a guy in front of me, blop, blop, blop. Oh, he's still not dead. I just used my super on him. What the hell's going on? The other one for hunters is very similar. It makes it so that you shoot this big bow and arrow that tethers people. You can shoot that one multiple times. Seems like a pretty good idea. It doesn't really reduce your damage or anything. But the problem is, any effect in that game with that class that affects like the number of enemies you tether or the whatever only applies to the last one shot. And because you're shooting so many, all of the tethers have a super reduced duration. So what'll happen is you'll shoot like 4 or 5 shots. It'll kill most of the group around you. You fire the last one. It's out there for maybe a second and a half, if that, and then goes away. And you have very few things left that even tether with it. And so a lot of the cool armor and stuff that relies on that doesn't work as good. Not as bad as the golden gun. Golden gun basically becomes inefficient, and not inefficient. Like this becomes inefficient. Golden gun becomes almost useless. Like you never want to use it because it doesn't do any damage. It just makes you a target.
Well, I mean, you almost never want to use golden gun anyway because the bow is so good.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would agree with you there, but golden gun and PvP can be pretty strong because it's like a one shot at range.
Right.
And when you do
get
that,
2 or 3 kills real quick.
You lose that. You get 6 shots for a 4v4 match in 15 seconds, and they won't even one shot. Compared to, I pull out a lightning staff that can one-shot melee. I ground pounded and can run around kneeing and ground pounding. I threw a giant void ball that explodes and homes. It's in a bad spot. And I think they know. I hope they know. People have complained about it. So hopefully Bungie can fix that in a DLC or something. Or a patch or something. He's typing to Gandhi. He's like, Gandhi, please don't nuke me.
Dear Gandhi.
Dear Gandhi, I know you have nukes. Please don't nuke me. Love all of Civ 6.
Paul.
Huh?
How do you feel about the game so far?
Oh.
You've played it less than all of us here.
Accurate.
But how are you feeling about the game? Because Gonna be honest, you've stuck with it longer than I actually thought you were going to.
Ha! In your face.
It's true.
Got him.
Gotcha.
I mean, you've played it a lot more than you've played Destiny 1 so far.
Yeah, no, definitely I have. I've played it. I don't even know. Is there a way to see an hour count?
Don't believe so.
That's disappointing.
I know. I really want to see how many hours I've already put into it.
Right? No, I played enough. Like I beat the campaign, and I'm 235, 236. So, just like basically.
Oh wait. There is a way. Hold on. I forgot.
You forgot about
yes.
You forgot about the best website in the universe.
Yes.
WastedOnDestiny.com.
We're gonna find out how much we've played so far. Yes. All right. Search.
Oh my god. Oh no. Oh, I saw my time. Yours is gonna be higher. It's the only salvaging thing.
Where is it?
How much? Okay. Okay. Go to wastedondestiny.com and you're gonna type in your BattleNet name and number with the hashtag behind the number. So, Mike.
That's my baby.
How many hours do you have?
Are we gonna combine the time I spent on PS4?
No.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. I spent 15 hours on the PlayStation 4 version.
Okay.
I made one class, a human hunter, and I got them to 237.
Okay.
The PC version, I've played 59 hours.
Okay.
49 of those have been on my hunter, and 9 of them have been on my Titan. My hunter is currently at 293, my Titan's at 288, and I started a warlock at 19. Or it's currently at level 19, or power level 19. But I've played so little that it doesn't even have an hour count on it.
Okay.
Comparatively, my Destiny 1 time, I'm at 372 hours.
Right now, mine says 31 hours played.
Okay.
Wow.
Paul, did you look yours up?
I did.
What are you at?
So it's a lot less than you guys. I am at 10 hours played, all on.
Oh, that's it?
Oh, yep, 10 hours on my Exo Titan at 233.
I am at 67 hours.
Not that much more than me.
No. I'm at 67. You guys, there's been some days where you guys were off work and played.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's true.
But on the weekends, it's all I do so far.
You're catching up, yeah.
Well, I'm ahead of you.
Well, I'm sorry. When I say catching up, I mean you're
making up that time and running with it. But I'm at 51 hours on my Warlock, 13 hours on my Titan, and 2 hours on my Hunter. My Warlock is 299. My Titan is 295. And my Hunter's he's low level, so it's like.
How is your Titan 295 already?
Because you can give your guns to your other guy.
Doesn't the armor count too? I mean,
but I'm working on him.
Once you have the guns, all you have to do is get armor, and then it's way easier because you only have to get half the loot.
Right. I have my guns are 299, 299, and 300. So
yeah, that helps.
A question though, Jimmy.
Yes.
What's your Destiny 1 time?
Do you want my Warlock time or my overall time?
I want your overall time.
Wait, what was your regular time? What was your whole time?
My whole time for Destiny 1. 372 hours.
I've matched it with my Warlock.
Good.
That is my Warlock time exact.
Good.
My total time playing Destiny 1 is 492 hours.
Oh my god.
There you go.
I played 372 hours on my Warlock, 89 hours on my Titan, and 30 hours on my Hunter.
That's a lot of Sparrow racing.
My Warlock, I never did Sparrow racing.
I don't.
My Warlock and Titan are both 400, and my Hunter is 398.
There you go.
I did the hard modes. I did the hard modes of the last raid with all three at one point. Like every week, I was doing the hard and regular raids with all three of my characters at one point.
Jimmy, you're on your way to the top 100 BattleNet players for time played, according to this leaderboard.
Where?
The leaderboard on time wasted on Destiny.
Yeah.
You can set it to Destiny 2 and BNet.
Oh, I see. Oh, BNet. There it is.
Once you start breaking 100 hours, you'll be up here, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to think they're going to continue to.
But you gotta. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, number 100 is 103 hours.
Yeah, number one's 156. So.
Wow.
Don't let them beat you. That 156 has also deleted 3 characters. Two of which they've had over 20 hours on.
Wow. Why?
Well, they've got a Human Hunter, 55 hours, 305, an Awakened Titan, 48 hours, 275, and an Awoken Titan, 9 hours, 287. And then 3 deleted characters, 2 with 21 hours and 20 hours on. But
there's that Discord roboting we love so much.
Oh, this podcast gonna be fun to edit. Oh, you can just search for people and then pull them up on the next to your time. This is a good website, unrelated to the podcast, but this is a good website. Check it out.
It is wastedondestiny.com. If you play Destiny, if you don't, it's not gonna.
If you don't play Destiny, it's gonna be weird because you'd be like, "Oh, it's 0." Oh, you can get full. Okay. Oh no! It converted the hours into weeks. Oh! I didn't want that. I gotta close this tab.
How many weeks of Destiny I played?
2 weeks and like 11 days or something. 2 weeks, like 8 days or 7 days or something. It was fucking. I closed it. I couldn't look.
So I've got a question for you, Destiny players.
Yes. You're a Destiny player as well.
Leave me out of this.
It says wasted 0 hours.
That's right.
I just saw that.
Yeah, you can't waste any time on Destiny. It's well spent.
That's right. But anyway, go ahead, Paul.
Okay, so my question is, what, like, this game? So this game is getting a lot of, like, critically. People are getting really critical on console right now.
Yeah.
Due to lack of content.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys named off some things you didn't like there's no reason to do strikes and shit like that.
Yeah.
Right.
My question is, what the fuck do you people want? Like, you just named off ridiculous hour counts for a game you paid $60 for.
No. Hold on.
There's no extra there's microtransactions for cosmetics, like the Glimmer, the Bright Ingrams or whatever, right? But that's not in any way mandatory whatsoever.
Is it?
So like, what?
Don't get it twisted. I'm not in that group.
Right, I'm not trying to conflate what you're doing. I'm trying to say, what's wrong with all these people? Like, what are they?
So
what's wrong with it? It's not just
here's the deal. This is an incredibly addicting loot game, and once you get to that point in that mindset, there is an end. Like, and those people don't want an end. Like,
right.
It's the addiction complex.
So it's not that they think it's disappointing. They're just like, why isn't there more?
We've run out of stuff. Like this game is supposed to keep giving me things. Like I'm supposed to keep finding things, keep getting more stuff. There's nothing. I've gotten everything. Why aren't you guys giving me more?
Right. There's 2 big crowds with this. One half is like Destiny 1's PvP was really good. Destiny 1's PvP had all this. There was 6v6. They had all these modes where you could have just crazy powers all the time.
Well, let's get it correct. Destiny's PvP was really good. Then it was really bad. Then it was really good. Then it was really bad. Then it was okay. Then it was bad. Then it was.
Destiny 1's PvP for this group of people was really good. It was their go-to multiplayer game. They looked at it like, I played Destiny to get all my gear. Once I'm geared up, I play the multiplayer competitively up until more PvE stuff comes out, and then I gear up again and I play the multiplayer competitively until more expansion comes out. It's the repeatable part that is endless, essentially. They don't like a lot of that group, like those people don't like the fact that it's moved to 4v4. They don't like the fact that your supers and your grenades and your melee powers charge slower. They don't like the way the guns have been reclassified because it's more difficult to find ammo for them on the map. Some weapons have been moved down to power weapons, so their ammo only spawns every 2 minutes. They don't like the fact that Bungie's kind of pushing more toward esports when Destiny 1 didn't really have a lot of that stuff.
Right. I'm not asking why the people don't like some of the changes people made. I'm kind of asking why Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 get so much hate for being like bad live games.
It's the vocal minority, It's that common phrase that gets thrown around.
And And then the other half is like Jimmy had mentioned in Destiny 1, guns could roll with random perks. So a lot of the PvE farming
to keep on
it was.
There's a reason to keep doing it. In this game, they've gotten rid of that. I mean, that's part of my complaint. I liked that aspect of, I got this gun. Okay, what does it have on it?
Right. Honestly, I think it's better for the game to go this route. I just wish.
It feels like it's easier to get ideal stuff this way, right?
Totally.
It is.
It's the Goku's training in the hyperbolic time chamber with all these weights on. He takes the weights off, and now it's gone. Right. You played a lot of Destiny 1. You're used to slamming your head against this wall until you get something usable and good, and you're in great shape. You do the same stuff in Destiny 2, and you blow through all the content in 2 weeks.
Right.
And then
because you have all of the guns,
right.
You have all of the gear. You're not trying to find a specific piece of gear with a specific item on it per se, in terms of that it has this ability.
You're now looking for named stuff instead of
you're not
a named
once
thing
you have
with
it,
the perfect thing on it.
Right. Once you have that, you have that. That gun will always have this set of scopes. This gun will always have these two different choices in terms of the stats it can give.
So is the argument, if they're going to do it like that, they need to have more options in general? So that you have stuff to go after?
I think a good way of running with it in terms of how they designed Destiny 2, I think it would be a good, cool way of dealing it with an expanded mod system, and kind of changing the way you can get some of those mods, and maybe making it to where those random perks are kind of unique mods that you can find that have these specific sets.
So it's like, oh, I have a...
I don't know if they would ever do that, because they're designing the game in such a way that like this. But I think if enough people complain to where the people
you guys are talking about
the people that are continuing
for a while there. Like that's the idea. Like that's your grind, right? To get those perfect mods.
But this is not a this game shouldn't be a 60-hour experience. This is a game that they want to keep people in. I'm trying to, in this sense, I'm trying to look at it from a developing eye. Like, they've built a game, or at least it seemed like they wanted to build a game to where they wanted to keep people there.
Right.
This is not that game.
So my question is, would you? And I know they would never do this because of its presence on console, and these games don't generally work on console, but if they could get a live team up that gave you what you wanted out of this game, like what everyone's pining for, like the idea that this isn't a Diablo-like, but it's a, World of Warcraft-like in terms of just sheer content, quantity of content, would you pay a subscription for this game?
I think I'd be more inclined to pay a subscription for the game if it was more Diablo-like and we were getting more in terms of
Diablo-like,
more content,
more.
Diablo-like and more, like bring back the gun system and such from D1, whether you do it with using the mods like I suggested earlier, or just changing some things, but also adding more maybe like a Borderlands thing where there's just thousands of guns. But
what if
not to say I don't like what's here right now in terms of I think.
And when I said WoW-like versus Diablo-like, I didn't mean change flip the script. I just meant amount of stuff. Because Diablo is very.
I understood, because there's a very finite amount of things you can get in WoW. And
so
I'm assuming that's what you meant, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Like I say, the easy solution there is to just import all the Destiny 1 content in terms of strikes and raids and mission stuff.
That has been rumored
into Destiny 2. No, I would say
/ data mined.
Yeah, right. It's been pulled out of the fucking PC files.
Right.
No, I would say, what if instead of calling it a subscription, you just called it a season pass that promised smaller DLC every month, and then just upfront charged people $60?
The only issue I would see with that would be that maybe they would stop doing the big DLCs, which I would argue is the best part of this game, because it feels like a new game every time.
I didn't like Rise of Iron. I didn't like.
I can see that you weren't the only one. I could see people's complaints about Rise of Iron, but man, I feel like that raid made up for all of it.
It did not help that Rise of Iron had the feeling of, we didn't intend to make this. This was supposed to be Destiny 2's year, and we needed we needed filler.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I really liked Rise of Iron because I really liked the whole Siva stuff and the story behind that, and I mean the Banner Lords.
You just like hanging out with Reaper.
Whatever. Yeah. That's Saladin, right?
That's Lord Saladin.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention too, Paul. This game has a different design philosophy behind it, I think, than Destiny 1 did.
Yes.
Destiny 1 definitely posed itself as the every forever game. And Destiny 2, just to give an example, one of the design leads, a man named Luke Smith, he gave an interview back when The Taken King came out. And he said, because they were asking a lot of questions back then, like, hey, do you want people to play the Destiny forever? What do you say to people that say Destiny 1 doesn't have enough content? Because these arguments happened back then, even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And his response was, all we want is that you come to our game, you have a good time, and if you leave a couple days after you've finished it, if you leave a couple days after you've played it or whatever, as long as you've had a good time, you're more likely to come back when we put out more.
It's the Yoshi P thing with
Totally.
Final Fantasy XIV.
It's the Yoshi P thing. We'd rather you enjoy yourself even if the content isn't, even if there's not a lot of content, or even if the content isn't there for a long time. We'd rather you come enjoy yourself for a week and leave than have you be strung along for months or whatever and then hate yourself or hate the game or not like it, because that way, like you said, you would come back and maybe buy the DLCs or whatever. And then he went from basically being the lead on The Taken King to him and his team then going and becoming the leads on Destiny 2. And so this game has a lot of that philosophy in it, I think.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a lot of Destiny 2 feels to me like enjoy it while you play it and enjoy it and then come back later. I feel like is present throughout the entirety of this experience.
The thing I don't understand is I feel like Destiny 1 you can do both crowns. You didn't have to have the best stuff, the best roles to enjoy all of the content in that game. It was, you could do the raid, you could do the hard mode raid without having the best stuff in the game. The only time it ever came into play was really the Trials of Osiris, which is their hardcore content anyway. So I don't see the problem with having your bread and eating it too. Is that how that goes?
Having your bread and eating it too?
Whatever.
How many breads have you eaten in your life?
I don't know. Listen,
Jimmy's a very simple man.
I have not had much sleep.
I can both have and eat the bread.
I have, man. It's been rough.
What is this?
I slept.
Bread?
Am I a kid?
I slept 11 hours between yesterday and today, and still felt like I needed another 11 hours.
I mean, you probably do. You haven't had any sleep. Destiny 2 is taking it all.
I just want to play Destiny.
I mean, I feel like Destiny 2, I don't want to say overreaction. It probably is maybe a little bit of an overreaction to the way people reacted to Destiny 1. Because if you remember, Destiny 1, people wanted to play so bad and get loot so bad that they stood in front of a cave and shot into it for hours on end.
The loot cave.
Like, people who really like that really like the idea of the loot cave. The Destiny team definitely saw that, or at the very least, Luke Smith and his team in Bungie saw that as a failing, because how exciting is it to stand in front of a thing and hold left trigger and not move or do anything?
But every time you get one of those Grimgrams, it's that endorphin. It's that shot of endorphin. Like, right. Oh my god, there's a purple.
But
oh my god.
Do you not think that maybe that's a little abusive and preying on people?
Are we gonna talk about this in news?
But But anyways, that's
being abusive.
That's stuff beside the point. That's stuff beside the point, because that's not even what my argument here is. There's a little bit there, I think, but that's stuff beside the point. There was definitely a problem where at Destiny 1, there was you had to do that grind to level up. There were very few ways to get up otherwise, and eventually they patched in more stuff. It was easier for you to get tokens to buy stuff from vendors. It was easier you had different avenues to gear up to do stuff like the raid. And I think what we're seeing here with Destiny 2 is them looking at the reaction to Destiny 1 at vanilla, the way it launched, and then going, what if we just did the opposite? And I think, just like Destiny 1, eventually the expansions and stuff for Destiny 2 are going to push it closer and closer towards the middle, where you'll be able to do like, oh, we're already looking at reevaluating the mod system, so now you can farm the mods as your perfect gun, but the guns drop perfectly fine, super usable. You'll never get a gun that could be really good but dropped with really shitty perks for you. It's just you could put better stuff on it to make it even better if you want to engage that way. I think it's just a matter of time.
The argument for changing the way the game is made to make it so that people don't play it hardcore like doesn't work.
Like I say, I feel like
because the way they've designed the game to where like, okay, we don't really want people playing like that, so we're going to make the best increases weekly lockouts. Well, guess what that leads to? That leads to the people that were going to spend hundreds of hours trying to, doing not so much, maybe 80 hours doing the gear grind. Now they're spending 150, 160 hours because now they're just hunting down exotic engrams for that 1 to 2 light level increase for a week.
Well, like what I would say here, I don't think it's them deliberately saying we don't want the hardcore players to be able to do this grind. I think it's more this is the feeling I get, and again, this is entirely subjective, but the feeling I'm getting from this is less we don't want you to do this and more we don't want this to be necessary. And the problem is they didn't put in an optional side path to let people do that other than exotic engram farming.
I don't think it was malicious. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there are consequences to what they've done going this direction. I think they have very much hurt. That's the wrong way of explaining it. They, instead of helping the situation, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot with what they were trying to accomplish.
They've soured their hardcore community, while the less hardcore players are definitely looking at this maybe as not necessarily as an upgrade, but are probably they don't give a shit about any of this stuff, right? Like these are people that will play.
Like, hey, I did this for the week. I'm done.
I did this for the week. I'm done. Hey, I can go do the raid now. Okay, I beat the raid. I'm done. I'll come back when you put a DLC out.
Yep.
And I feel like I maybe lean closer to that. I definitely you heard my fucking hour count. I put a shit ton of time in this game, but I definitely am of the camp of like, oh, I did everything. I'll come back later. Like the way you said for Final Fantasy XIV of like, oh, I'll wait 1 or 2 years and then come catch up and then I'll wait 1 or 2 years. That's how I've been playing WoW basically since the first expansion released. I wait 2 years, I catch up on a bunch of cool content, and then I stop. And then I repeat then a couple of years. And it's probably how I'm going to play 14, and that's probably how I'm going to play Destiny, except instead of waiting years, it'll be months for the expansions or whatever. But
right.
Oh, that's a lot. That's nice.
Don't get me wrong. I'm in a similar situation with Destiny.
You're definitely getting there with 14 too.
I play it super hardcore when I'm there. Like, because that hour count that what was it, 500
almost 400. It was almost 5. It was 400.
It was almost 500. That's almost 500 hours of Destiny. Is only me playing it for like 3.5 months total.
Right. Because that's that other thing. We found that thing that gave you calendars that showed how much time or when you were playing Destiny.
I play it in September and part of November. I played it in September and part of November for 3 years. And that was it. So that was basically like 3 to 4 months of total play time. I did 500 hours.
And we wonder why you have had so little sleep over the last couple weeks.
Who's wondering that?
Nobody.
The listeners at home.
No.
All one of them.
Everyone knows.
So I guess that's fair. Seth does know. He's the only listener we have.
Right. Exactly.
He's our number one listener.
He is our number one listener.
Actually, you listening right now, you're our number one listener.
That's right.
Oh, what's your name, Paul?
This one goes out to you.
Hey, future Seth. You're our number one listener.
Hope we didn't wake you up at work from your nap.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway. Destiny 2 is still extremely close. Like it's hard to, create an entirely, I don't want to say objective opinion on the game, but
the old objective opinion.
I mean, I try to be objective in most things, and in terms of what we've described here, but I don't know. I think it's regardless of my complaints, I think it is a fantastic fucking game.
Same.
It's all I want to do. Like I'm very much in that crowd that like, okay, I'll just fucking farm an exotic Ingram, even though I've done everything. But
you're where PUBG had me, I think, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Where there was time with PUBG this year where I would just be thinking about different ways I could approach houses in the game, and all I wanted to do was sit down and play it, and and drag you guys along with me through that stuff. I'm not really feeling that with Destiny 2, but that's probably just because I already know I'm $90 in. I've got the long road for Destiny. I might as well enjoy the ride, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can kind of see that. I mean, I'm probably the only one that we've been playing with that feels as strongly as being hardcore in this game. I'm sure.
Probably. I think
for the month and a half that I'll play it.
Right.
But because I'm very much looking forward to doing the hard mode raid. I'm looking forward to the expansions and something we mentioned off recording, I should say. There is a picture of the second expansion in the Blizzard launcher, and it very much looks like we are going to be revisiting the Siva stuff from the Rise of Iron expansion of Destiny 1.
Nanomachines, baby.
Which has me very excited because that stuff was super cool. Especially if they bring back that pulse rifle. Oh my god. That thing was awesome. But anyway. Is there anything anyone else wants to talk about Destiny 2? I mean, I'm sure we'll probably talk about it again. As we play a little more.
So we're gonna talk about it next
we didn't.
month,
Well,
and the
we
month
didn't really.
after,
We didn't really talk about the raid too much.
No, that's true.
Let's not talk about the raid a whole lot this time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's not talk. Maybe.
Let's save it
not.
for next time.
It just came out. It just came out this week.
Let's say the raid is pretty good. Some parts are kind of shitty.
There is one part in particular in that raid that I fucking hate. But I came out of that thing thinking it's the second best raid in Destiny.
Really?
Yeah. There's one encounter in particular that I think is super fucking cool.
Yeah, same.
And for Mike, it's the third one, the shooty one.
Yeah. The one we did.
Bang
third.
bang.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is.
Bang bang bang. Vamonos,
that was
vamonos.
so cool. I really really liked that one.
That encounter is really fun. I look forward to taking Seth through it because it'll be real interesting to see. Because Seth is coming at this game as someone who's played a bunch of MMOs before, like you were, as opposed to I'm someone who plays a lot of first-person shooters. What are mechanic? What I do? I must stand here and shoot guy. I must do a thing. What? As opposed to.
Well, I mean, I don't think any of us were in that crowd of we only played shooters. I mean,
I was. I mean, fuck. What's an MMO? No, I know. But a lot of people, you definitely hear that a lot. Like Vault of Glass, the first raid from Destiny 1, opened a lot of people's eyes to the idea of, you can do this kind of experience.
There's more to this than
shooting things. Totally.
Yeah.
And I think, well, I still think Vault of Glass is probably better, which is probably entirely tinted by the fact that it was the first one of these and nostalgia glasses and you can't go home again. This is still very good.
Well, I think my problem with Vault of Glass is that I think it's still very much a shoot raid.
Totally. I mean, comparatively, there are more bosses in Vault of Glass than this one, which I don't think is a big spoiler. But
no,
I think I not necessarily prefer, but I think I would have liked to have some more kind of not necessarily straightforward, but
I think you would have liked the Siva raid.
I probably would have. I just couldn't.
That raid's so good.
I just couldn't enjoy. Like I couldn't sit through enough of the Rise of Iron stuff to gear up for it.
That's fair. I mean, there were a lot of things about that expansion that were kind of
Yeah.
But I came out of it. I came out of it on the other side, very up on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was that raid. I really liked that raid.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the ARG they had behind that exotic pulse rifle was super neat.
Yeah,
and the gun was super cool. Like, and the whole quest, like ARG aside, the whole quest to do it was really cool. It was super in depth and
following that stuff.
There's a part
cool.
where you have to translate binary to tell a person to jump on a certain path.
That is true. That is a thing you have to do in the raid.
It's a really cool part of that game. But yeah, that's something I think is missing right now from Destiny 2, but it's still early. I was hoping they would have maybe one or two of those things in the game.
It does not seem like there's
launch.
kind of any of that stuff.
But hopefully it'll come.
Destiny 2, you should play it. Play it on PC. It runs on toasters.
It runs on toasters. If you have a decent PC, you can increase that FOV, and it is a big deal.
Yeah. Oh my god.
If you're curious, look up the FOV difference between consoles and what you can do on PC. Even a non super wide monitor, you
can see so much
more.
Wow. The menus are it is so nice to navigate those menus at 60 FPS as opposed to 30.
Yes. And not to navigate the menus with a joystick.
Right. You're using a mouse interface with a mouse. Weird, it works better.
Right. Yes.
But
play it on PC if you can, even if you have a garbage PC. You can probably run it.
It'll probably run. They literally just patched it to make it run on even more processors that could not run it before.
We have a friend who's playing it on a very, very much garbage PC, and he's playing it right now, actually. So I promise you can probably play it.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing it on the best video card you can use without using
without having it
plugged into the power supply.
Right, running solely off motherboard power, which, if you're not familiar, that's not a lot of power for a card.
So you could probably play it. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a break. If there's no other games that people wanted to mention, I don't think there was. Was there?
No, I'm good.
No.
Destiny.
I got Destiny. Yep, that's it. So let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll get into some new stuff, and we'll wrap it up.
We'll be back.
Coming back.
Welcome back.
Be gentle.
We're back. Okay. Welcome
back and be gentle to video games. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're done with the games. Let's get into some news. So, speaking of Destiny 2, it's been discovered that Activision has a patent for microtransaction matchmaking.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. The patent basically says that they've developed technology where their matchmaking will take into account how much money you've spent on microtransactions, say to buy a really cool looking gun or skin, and then match you up with somebody who has not spent as much money so they can see your cool gun or skin in the hopes that you will then go and buy the money to get that gun or skin before resuming regular matchmaking based on skill or connection quality.
Mm-hmm.
And after it was discovered, I'm pretty sure they were very quick to say, no, this isn't in any of our games.
Well, no. What I think what happened was it was just Bungie that came out and said, no, it's not in Destiny.
Was it? Okay.
I think they came out, my understanding was it was Activision that said they
I thought Activision...
They said that?
Yeah, because...
we have not implemented anything yet.
Right. Because it turns out Activision has quite a few games with microtransactions in it where that might have been used. Because this year's Call of Duty has microtransactions. This year's Destiny has microtransactions. I don't remember what else Activision makes, but it probably has microtransactions in it.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, in theory, because Activision is part of Blizzard, like WoW and Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm, and I don't know about StarCraft, but those three at least for sure.
I don't think there's I don't think it's tied to a microtransaction system of StarCraft, but there's definitely like things you could get in terms of like portraits and stuff.
Okay. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of places where this technology could have been implemented, And of course, people were like, "Well, that's fucked up."
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
Yeah.
But I also was seeing that some people are giving them the benefit of the doubt, and one of their guys came up with this, and then they got a patent on it simply to keep other people from doing it.
No.
Like I say, it won't be.
That's not how business works. It costs money to establish a patent too. Like you don't just do it without.
I mean, if anything, they got the patent to stop other people from doing it, so they could later.
So they could be the only ones that can do it. Yes, not. Oh, hey, nobody should do this. Let's patent it. It's like, nobody
else
should do
this.
Yes. And it's almost impossible to tell if it's actually happening or not.
Oh, you know what I just realized?
That's
they have that
thing.
entire mobile division. Like,
didn't they? I mean, it could be centered around that,
Yeah, totally. Like, that would 100% just be, this dude bought 1,000 things in cache of crates, or whatever the fuck mobile games are nowadays.
Now let's only match him with people who haven't spent any money.
Yep. That way the guy who spends money feels good for all his powerful stuff. The guy, totally.
I have a question. If this manifests as, like, you pick up Overwatch when a new event comes out, and you get matched up with people who have, like, a bunch of event skins, like, is that terrible, or is it, like, are you against it?
The problem I would have with something like that is if they're prioritizing that over skill or connection. Overwatch uses dedicated servers, so that's less of an issue. But some of their other games are peer-to-peer. So that could be a big deal. But if it's intentionally giving you an unbalanced match in the hopes that you will spend money, that's kind of fucked up. I mean, it's not as bad as, like, hey, this guy's got a stronger gun than you, and he's here to kill you with it to feel good about the fact that he spent $5 on our game. But it's still kind of fucked up. And obviously, you would hope for the purity of the play experience, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But
right, you don't want to be matched with people who spent more money. You want to match with people that are around your skill level.
Right. And it would just, I mean, honestly, just the existence of this patent draws that into question forever, really.
Exactly, because it's almost impossible to tell whether it's actually happening or not.
For any of their games, forever.
I mean, yeah. I guess it does do a good favor of guaranteeing
for everyone
that
else.
No one else is doing it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you can't guarantee that other people aren't doing it because it's very hard to
enforce that,
track that. Yeah, so
patent law is hard on software, is my understanding.
I mean, that very much feels like a board meeting. We need to patent this, rather than someone with practical thought saying we should patent this.
Right.
I mean, really, it's a waste of money because people can do it and you not notice. So
right, it just saves them in case somebody comes after them for doing it. As like, if Bethesda were to go, no, we patented this, fuck you, we know you're doing it, or we suspect you're doing it, let's go to court. This covers them for that.
Now, speaking of Activision, who make a lot of multiplayer games, there has been a big there's been a lot of talk around the industry lately about the topic of single player games.
Yes. Spurred on most recently
because EA shut down Visceral.
Yes, R.I.P. Visceral.
Who was making a single player Star Wars game,
which I was really excited for.
Headed by what was her name?
Amy Hennig.
Amy Hennig, who was in charge of Uncharted for a long time.
Yep. This was their like Star Wars 1717 or whatever, like sort
the
of
1313
like replacement or whatever. Like, this is your big story Star Wars game. And
I mean, it's EA. It's money with them. All they care about, and that's the argument. Like, as these companies start to see there is much more money to be made in multiplayer experiences,
where you can sell loot boxes,
and you can keep making maps that are for sale, and you can keep making and they see that single player games are one and done. They sell them once, that's it. Maybe some expansion content
that costs them a lot of money. Like, that costs them
a lot of money, and the profit is not as much in other terms.
The other
are we going?
Do you think games are too cheap right now? Like, the fact that they feel like they need to do this. Do you think games need to go up in price?
No.
I mean,
games have not gotten cheaper to make; they've gotten more and more expensive to make.
Yes, but they're still very profitable.
the answer is
probably. Companies don't allow themselves a company that doesn't make money, even more money, even faster is not a success. Like that's considered a bad year. So the idea of being
you're asking me if I think games should go up. I don't think they should.
As a consumer, of course not.
Right.
And I'm trying to look at this as a complete third party, not the consumer, not the person making. No, they should not be raised because, from the consumer standpoint, it should go down. That's just the consumer standpoint. I could buy more and play more if they went down. Mm-hmm. From their point, games should go as high as we can let them, as people got to buy them for. From a third-party objective view, I think they should stay the same. They're profitable, and they're making money in different ways.
To me, some of this shit's like when you get a mobile game and you have the option to buy it or watch ads for it. Like, if I like the game, I will just buy it because I would rather buy it and not see all the bullshit. And I feel like we're not getting that option with these games anymore.
No, but you also don't have to buy their bullshit.
No, that's not the point. It's that they're marketing it to me constantly.
Yeah,
I would like that's my argument for why games should probably be more expensive. But
the other thing, I was just gonna say, how common is it that this game came out, it's not even 3 weeks later and it's on sale, or this game comes out next month, I can buy it for half off already on this website for a week.
Right.
There's definitely an issue with games keeping their price necessarily. Maybe not a problem, but there's definitely a thing where it's like, games don't seem to be holding their value like they used to, and that's definitely causing, I think, problems.
Unless you're
on the business end.
I would agree with that. I think maybe that stuff needs to be controlled more. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot that goes on in terms of.
Well, I'm pretty sure they make a ton of money during those sales too, right? Like
you would hope. Otherwise they wouldn't want to do them, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably just revitalizes a game that's lagging in sales.
Right. Like I think the way I saw this quote floating around, and I can't confirm it or not. But it was a game developer, an indie dev, who had mentioned the day that the news came out that EA shut down Visceral, that one of the executives at EA made so much money in bonuses last year, it could have funded basically Visceral for a year or more. In terms of just game development has gotten more expensive, but also the chaff at the top is getting bigger and bigger. If games were to go up in price,
it's the same.
I would worry
it's the same problem.
That's capitalism, right?
This is a capitalism problem,
right? Totally.
It's exactly what
the thing I would worry about is if games were to go up in price. I don't know if it would. I don't think
it wouldn't change anything.
They would still advertise you constantly.
Yes, they're gonna get as much money out of you as they can. They're gonna raise prices there, and they're still gonna do the microtransactions.
I guess
it's not gonna change anything.
A season pass is essentially what I'm suggesting, is paying for the season pass, and then they don't advertise DLC because they already sold it to you.
Yeah, kind of. Although they'll still probably advertise it to you.
That's the thing. They don't even recognize that you already have it.
Right. They're like, hey, this came out, buy it.
You're like, yeah, I know.
But that you gotta remember that creates more work and more labor hours on their part to make a system in which to where things you own aren't advertised to you anymore. So
can we just go back to the online pass days where I could pay a $10 tax to not play online or whatever?
Well, this goes to the argument from the shift from where games had monthly fees instead of going free to play with the revolution of microtransactions.
Yeah, we've gone from
I've always been in the monthly fee crowd. Just keep making content. Let me pay you a thing right. And it worked better too. In those games where that was the thing, you got more high quality content out of monthly fee games than you did where they were funded by microtransactions.
I would ask.
Look at. What
would you consider Hitman?
That's kind of a unique thing entirely.
I mean, that's kind of a new.
Because it's an episodic game, so in theory, you could pay for it monthly as every episode came out.
Yeah.
Or you could buy it all up front.
I'm completely okay with how they handled that.
I am too. I just wish it made more money.
Yeah.
Because that game was really good.
I feel like that was a marketing problem, though.
That game, I think, more than anything, paid a lot for the sins of its predecessor.
Like, we heard a lot about it because of the things we pay attention to, but I feel like nobody outside of those crowds heard about that game.
Or even if they did,
because it was rebranded with just, it was Hitman.
And then months before the game came out, they launched it as an episodic thing.
Yeah,
because that game was originally sold as a complete package on that date.
Yes, it was just, I think it was very mishandled in how it was presented to the masses. I think otherwise, I don't think it would have been a blockbuster, but I think it would have done a lot better. But
I don't know.
I haven't played that yet. I want to try it at some point.
I don't think that this shutdown is the death of single player games, as I've seen people decry.
Absolutely not. No. This happens all the time.
Even people at Visceral, I think, have said
this has been an argument since the 90s with the introduction of MMOs. Like, when they started to get popular, like that was the first time I personally witnessed this. The world is ending.
Everything's an MMO now. Everything's
going to be an MMO. Like whenever EverQuest really took off, 99, 2000. And then you heard about World of Warcraft and like all that stuff. Like, people started to really be okay, they're never going to make a single player game anymore, because why would you, with these things being so popular? It didn't happen then. It's not going to happen now. Well, we might see less.
It's kind of true for Blizzard.
Yeah. It is true for Blizzard. Probably going to be true for
Valve.
For Rockstar eventually.
Yeah, that too.
You could argue it already is for some people.
Yeah,
GTA 5s.
Right. They've made so much money on that online.
I can't wait to buy shark cards for my horse. This one can jump twice.
I do think we're going to see less of them in terms of the AAA industry.
Sure.
I think that, yeah. I mean, because you already are. We are seeing less single player games in the AAA world.
Right.
But the indie world is very much alive with single player experiences.
Totally.
So, and very good ones at that. I mean, we just talked about one earlier, the
Hitman.
Stardew Valley.
Stardew
Valley. That's it.
So
Mario.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of sad that we're not getting big AAA single player, beautiful, huge, big games like that.
I mean, Wolfenstein did just come out. And that's
yes,
a single player.
But I'm saying as many.
Yeah, totally.
As many.
And there's always
there are still very good ones being made. I mean, look at Titanfall 2. That was awesome.
Yeah, especially considering the first game did not have a single player.
Right.
That game got a single player in its sequel, and then did not sell as much as it was supposed to, but was still apparently good. But I mean, that's what happens when you put a game out with little marketing in between two other big FPSs.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna. I mean, well, here's another example: Nintendo. Nintendo is never gonna stop making single player games. So,
well, I wouldn't say never.
They're very stuck in their ways.
There may come a time when Nintendo doesn't make any game.
That's the.
But
I mean, still, Nintendo won't stop making single player games. It just might not exist someday.
Nintendo will only make Splatoon sequels.
Did you see that they were disappointed with the profits from Mario Run or Mario whatever?
What?
Mario Run?
Mario Odyssey or Mario Run?
Mario Run.
Okay. Because Mario Odyssey, I just saw a figure. They sold 3 million copies.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about Nintendo being ruined, and I thought about their mobile division.
Well, don't worry. They made all that money and more back with Fire Emblem Heroes.
Listen, just because I bankrolled them on Fire Emblem Heroes does not mean they made enough to make back everything from Mario Run.
Like, I'm not even talking about you. I know a lot of people who put a lot of money into that game.
Yeah, I put more in than I realized. I don't want to think about it or read.
And Paul were the only two people I knew who even installed that game.
It was a fun game. Actually, it was just...
It was a fun slot machine.
It was. I did like seeing the things come out.
The most fun I had with that game was deleting it and reinstalling it every time until I got the perfect starting team. And then I realized I'd rather just play Fire Emblem, so I stopped playing the gacha game.
So Seth.
Yes, sir.
You had mentioned to me off recording at some point. You had a concern about this.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I mean, you don't listen to as much stuff as we do in terms of hearing people throughout the industry talk about this issue. I mean, what do you see? Through your eyes, what do you see?
The games I enjoy to play, single player wise, are very pretty and very expensive to make, and they normally don't make the profit that they do on the other games. And video games are just like anything else. It's just a business. To them, they don't care. There are people that are arguing that video game is an art to people, that it's a passion to people, and that's the ones that are going to keep making these single player games. But at the end of the day, they have money to make, and their concern isn't, oh, well, they want us to keep making these games. Their concern is, what can I make the most money doing? And it is not single player game.
Right.
And I don't want to see them just stop altogether. But there are people that are thinking that some of the smaller titles that are very good games are going to start to disappear, and you're only going to see certain companies making the single player games here and there.
I mean, that's probably true. I mean, companies are getting, like we mentioned earlier, like Blizzard doesn't make single player games anymore.
Right.
Rockstar is probably getting out of it. I mean, I could see this Red Dead thing being like the last hurrah for any single player content from them, to be honest.
That
maybe
really
not, but I could see it
like premature.
I'm with you.
They've made a lot of money, but I don't feel like they've ever made any statements to indicate that. It's just
no. But this is all. We're also in the beginning phase of this for them.
They made a statement of the opposite. They said that despite the money they made from GTA Online, the reason they never did single player stuff for GTA 5 was because they felt that game was a complete story with 3 campaigns. It was 3 games in one. It did not need any more single player content. Please ignore the fact that we talked about that we were going to make single player content. Please ignore the fact that we were working on single player content.
Guys, that never happened, right? We never said
any of that. It didn't need it. It needed more online stuff. Ignore the fact that we're making $500 million a day.
I trust Rockstar.
I don't. Not for a second.
Rockstar I don't trust them, but I like their games.
But yeah,
they make good games, but at the same time, they're kind of they're swimming in dough right now.
They always swim in dough. I always forget about they just make so much money when they release a game.
They can wait 12 years.
Right.
They no one else does it like that. Not quite like that.
And I don't know. I don't even know if it's fully warranted.
I don't think it is.
It's not.
No.
I mean, I really like their games, but
I mean, yeah, their games are fine, but I don't think they're.
I think their games are really, really good.
I don't think there's 60 million copies good.
And selling, Call of Duty selling just continually, still, even now.
Right, every week they're selling Call of Duty numbers.
Right. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
It's the kids.
Oh well.
It feels like Bethesda is trying to do a Rockstar in terms of we put out our big franchises once in a blue moon, but then realized they couldn't, which is why we've gotten 17 copies of Skyrim.
Yeah. I mean, for the long time they could.
Totally.
But they're just. I think the time between each game has grown with each game, and it's just getting to be too much.
Mm-hmm. Especially now that they're alternating between Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Yeah. Which, don't get me started on that.
No, they should just stop making Elder Scrolls games, just make Fallout games. I agree with you.
It's not true, but okay.
Well, fair.
All right. Let's move on. Well, single player games aren't going away. They never will go away entirely. I think we can all.
But you know what might be going away?
Maybe the Humble Bundle.
The Humble Bundle.
At least in its current form.
Yeah. So IGN has
IGN
acquired the Humble Bundle for some amount of money that I don't know if it was disclosed.
Do you remember what? I don't remember how much it was.
I don't think it was.
Was it disclosed?
I don't think it was disclosed.
Okay.
But yeah, that cool thing that has gotten kind of progressively worse as its existence has continued.
Yeah.
Where you could get a bunch of cheap indie games for like $1 and then choose to give it all to charity or whatever. And that now owns a storefront and has begun publishing games, is now owned by IGN, the video game reviewer website, and also Game of Thrones hotspot talk show or whatever the fuck they do now.
Yeah.
I heard the games in the new Humble Bundle were really good. IGN gave them super good scores.
Super good. 6 out of 7.
Well, I mean, they automatically got a 7, 8, or 9, right?
Mm-hmm, totally.
I mean, that's the IGN score. They have a 3-point scale. But I don't know. I mean, this is totally them reaching like GameStop is reaching, like trying to get into the publishing business before they go away forever.
Yes.
So, which but no, IGN Humble Bundle that has me a little worried, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't suspect.
In a couple different ways.
I don't suspect anything from the IGN editorial staff. Because I suspect this is a different department in IGN.
They would have nothing to do with it. I mean,
right?
I know. Yeah, they would have nothing to do with it, but like, I don't trust anyone at IGN.
I
like reading their reviews and looking at how they score games.
Jimmy,
it makes it really.
Don't pull a Metacritic review was paid for by.
I'm not pulling that part. I don't think they're paid for reviews. Okay. I don't think they are. I think they are more inclined to give a higher score to things. Like some of their scores just don't make fucking sense.
And the guy liked the game.
And from people that I've listened to in the past in their podcasts and stuff, like this doesn't coincide with things that you seem to have said. I mean, it's been I can't give any specific examples because it's been a long time, but like that was one of the reasons I stopped paying attention to them. Is because like your review is not matching your opinions on your podcast. Like, how can I take you seriously? So you're giving a game that you shat on for 45 minutes a 7 out of 10 and saying it's a good game. Like that doesn't.
I mean, we just complained about Destiny a lot.
I was gonna say people tend to focus on the negatives when you're talking about stuff. No one. I have to deal with that a lot with comments and complaints. It's like no one's like, "Hey, really great job," but they're really quick to be like, "Hey, why the fuck isn't there more of this?"
Or, it's like easier to articulate complaints, I think.
Well, I guess. And it feels more relevant.
Yeah, we as a podcast have shit on 14 quite a bit, but we've all said go buy 14 and play it.
I want to be on the record. I don't know what you're talking about.
Paul, you've been its biggest champion.
Paul, without you, I don't know if this 14 hype train could continue. I know you've had that banner behind you this whole time.
Right.
Red Mage.
He was in that Japanese group that got the world first.
You were that tank who had never tanked before, who tanked that fucking raid, which is kind of true a little bit.
He does a triple rotation.
Oh my god.
Actually, as a side note,
he's ascended.
That tank before they picked him up had only leveled tanks to 60. They picked him up to tank for that for the ultimate or whatever, and then he leveled a tank to 70 just to do it. They were like, let's just get a new tank.
What, the group that
beat the hardest content in the game?
Are you serious?
The tanks that he had before was like a 58 paladin and then 60 the other two.
Wow.
But
I mean, we've talked about that before. Tanking isn't hard in 14.
I mean, it depends on how many rotations you have to do.
Right.
But I'd be more worried from the humble side. Like I wouldn't expect the.
I don't think corruption's going to be an issue. It's just going to be corruption. The quality of the product.
Yeah, totally. Like the quality of the bundles are going to go down, which they've been before. How worse can it get? I guess.
No, I guess. I mean, I would like to add on and say like I don't really care about the editorial side of that because I don't pay attention to them anyway. It was just. I don't know. I'm more concerned about what you said, like the actual Humble Bundle side of it. Because IGN as a company is the people who own them. I mean,
are they owned by Ziff?
Yes.
Yeah, good luck.
Like that's the biggest thing that concerns me.
Speaking of
who knows how that's gonna go?
Of like this, like IG or GameStop owns a game rental magazine. IGN is a rental place that now owns a game storefront or whatever. Did you see that flyer for the GameStop's like rental program that they're apparently going to introduce this month?
I did. It's the 6 months for $60.
Yeah, $60.
You can just keep getting it's like a red box thing where you've paid up front for everything and you go back and get a new game whenever you want.
You basically, it's people who abuse their pre-owned policy, but official and for $60. Because instead of it being buy a game used, return it within a week to get another game, it's now give us $60, just do it whenever, keep whatever the last one is.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I mean,
oh wait, I didn't notice that part. They get to keep the last game.
Yeah, you get to keep the last game you've rented out or whatever when your thing expires.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't see that part of it.
So it is straight up just them being like, give us $60 and literally just do the abuse of our trade-in our trade-in stuff for used games, but legitimately.
That's cool.
Which is totally awesome. And I don't think they've put any official details out yet. It was a leaked flyer for their holiday stuff. It's probably going to be a seasonal one-time thing. I guess they previewed a similar program back in July or June in select stores. But this is definitely like the first time I've been in a GameStop in probably a year and a half was a couple days ago when I went to sell my Xbox One to buy a Switch because I was tired of looking for somebody to buy it on Craigslist. I was like,
Pokemon.
Yeah.
You have to what?
I have to go to GameStop to pick up Pokemon.
Why?
They have events pretty regularly. You go pick up a card and it gives you a code.
Lisa, yeah, I figured.
I thought it was like, Amazon sells Pokemon.
Like in cages?
Is it different from the online events you can do? Like the event Pokemon?
I think they're exclusive, aren't they?
Shinies or legendaries, which by the way, I have a Marshadow for you. First time it's ever been released to US. I got an extra code for you if you want it.
Yeah. No, I don't know what. I mean, that's really sweet. I usually
Please leave this in the podcast.
Well, yeah. I would hope you didn't leave it in the podcast.
Jeez.
I'm not good with this. All right.
That's the weirdest way to say I don't really want it I've ever heard.
Holy shit.
Well, part of me wants it.
Paul's bad at getting gifts.
He doesn't really like it.
It's not really
I cannot wait for Christmas.
The dude gave me 2, and you're the only person that I play that I know otherwise plays it. So I said I would give it to you if you want it. If you don't want it, I don't. I
mean, I play pretty much every Pokemon release. It's just when I'm done with them, I'm done with them. I'm not like you at all in terms of like
weirdos.
National decks every fucking time I play a game. I've gotten 150 once.
I mean, if you don't collect them
the original
all,
one,
what's the point?
I've completed a dex once, and it was just a regional dex. Although at the time,
when I completed my dex, that was all the Pokemon.
I mean, yeah, mine too. But I'm saying now it would be considered a regional Pokedex.
Right.
But anyways, less Pokemon.
Yeah, the GameStop thing is really cool, and probably not something I'm gonna do. I don't really.
What? Like as a new Switch owner, yeah, sure, I might. It depends on if they tie it to their $15 or $30 like yearly subscription thing. Which even if they do, that would just
I didn't even think about that.
That would just bump it up to $75 or $90. But if I'm playing 2 games a month, that still probably equals out at some point.
Right.
It's just a matter of can you find the time to burn through content that quickly. But it's, like I said, as somebody who just bought his Switch and the only game I have is a game I'm borrowing from a friend, this is like the best timing for a thing.
I mean, the other problem with that, like, there's not really that many Switch games worth playing right now.
No, but I could go get and play
like that have a physical
thing.
Copy.
But I also have a PS4, so it kind of works that way too, right? It's like, oh, I can play a Switch game for this week. I can go play Kingdom Hearts and then throw it away, and then I can go play Kingdom Hearts 2 and then throw it away.
Right. That's the correct way to buy Kingdom Hearts. Just to buy it and throw it in the trash.
I will say, speaking to a local GameStop employee, here's a hot tip from a local employee.
Oh boy.
He says, and I quote, this seems like a bad idea.
What?
Yeah, he says it's a bad direction for the company to go in because he doesn't realize that the rats are supposed to jump off of the sinking ship, and he's going to ride this thing all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, baby. But
oh boy.
But yeah, hey, I wish GameStop all the best. I look forward to taking advantage of your wonderful and generous offer. Thank you so much.
Their headquarters is here in Dallas.
You should go ask him about it.
I
should. Like, hey, what's up with this rental thing? Can I do it?
Well, I don't know if it's in Dallas proper, and it's in the DFW area. I'm not exactly sure where it's at, but I know it's around here. Someone had suggested, hey, maybe you should go work for GameStop. I'm like, doesn't sound like a real secure place to work.
Yeah, that'll be a real good thing on my resume. I was 3 months at GameStop before they shuttered.
Right. Oh, man. Well, let's see here. So there was a big backlash over the Battlefront II beta in regards to their crates or cards or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it's
for their microtransactions.
Yeah,
it seemed very pay to win or pay to be able to use everything in their game type deal. So they issued a response to it after the beta had ended. Well, I think actually their first response was before it was over, right?
I think so.
When they said, hey, we heard you, we're gonna make some changes. Well, eventually, I think this was a couple weeks ago, they issued this big long statement in regards to how things were going to change at first. They did, and I think they said also that we're still looking into it, and future changes might come to this. But it looked like very much they've switched a lot of the things that were only in their cards / boxes in terms of character abilities.
Mm-hmm.
They've shifted that to you can just earn it through experience now. And what was it exactly? I read the whole thing. There are still things exclusive to the cards, but I think it's just like boosters.
Okay.
Like the high-end, maybe boosters / cosmetic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they also have the ability to, by leveling up, like kind of like the Destiny thing, to where as you get a certain amount of experience, you get one of these things.
Okay.
I think that was in there.
That'd be smart.
Yeah. But I came out of reading that thing like, okay, this is much better.
Well,
maybe I'll give it a shot.
The thing that's interesting,
because with the beta stuff, I was like, no way. I have no interest in playing this game now.
Well, the stuff that's interesting is, correct me if I'm wrong, and you might not even know because I don't know how closely anyone here has been following this game. When they first announced it, like way back at the beginning of the year, like last year, whenever it was, they were very coy about whether or not any of the map DLC was going to cost anything, and eventually they came out and just said all the maps will be free. Because I believe the assumption was at that point they were going to do it like Mass Effect 2 multiplayer style, where all the maps are free, you will pay with the crates and stuff. So if they're walking back on how much the crates are being, how heavily the crates are pushed, I begin to wonder if they then go back and maybe decide, oh, we should charge for these maps instead. Then,
that's what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
they did say none of the stuff was final.
Right.
Like it's very much a work in progress. So.
Because they've definitely done it both ways. I don't know. Because the Battlefield games have had paid DLC with microtransactions that just weren't pushed as heavily. And then Mass Effect 3, I assume Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, not 2. Mass Effect 3's multiplayer was entirely, all the content that was like maps or characters was completely free. You just had to sometimes you'd have to get characters out of crates, but I think that was rare. And it was just you had to get guns and levels and stuff out of those crates. And the idea would be, you could play a bunch and get some for free, or just give us $15 and you can open a couple of these right now and go do the harder stuff for the better rewards. And the people who were putting that money in basically funded all the DLC for that game for everybody who didn't. And so when they announced like, the Battlefront DLC is going to be free, we're not doing a season pass like before, the first thing I thought of was, they're going to push crates real fucking hard. And then they push crates real fucking hard. And if they walk back on that, I could totally see them being like, okay, you've said you don't want crates. We've introduced a nominal fee for our multiplayer maps again.
Yep. Here, I pulled up the thing.
Okay.
Let me read the bullet points. I'll read the bullet points that they presented in terms of what's going to be in place now.
Okay.
I do believe that before this, a lot of the abilities, like you would see in like a Battlefield game, like things you would change, were locked behind these crates, cards, microtransactions.
Ooh, okay.
That was one of the biggest problems. But here's the bullet points from their response. There are many things you can earn in the game, including weapons, attachments, credits, star cards, emotes, outfits, and victory poses. As a balanced goal, we're working towards having the most powerful items in the game earnable via in-game achievements. Crates will include a mix of star cards, outfits, emotes, or victory poses. Players can earn crates by completing challenges and other gameplay milestones, or by purchasing them with in-game credits or crystals, or premium currency. If you get a duplicate star card in a crate, you will get crafting parts, which you can then use to help upgrade the star card of your choice. And lastly, you have to earn the right to be able to upgrade star cards and unlock most weapons. You can only upgrade or unlock them if you have reached a high enough rank, which is determined by playing the game.
So it sounds like
that is
like pretty much straight rebuttal to the this is just pay to win stuff.
Yes.
You still need to play
specific language to try to make you feel that way about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll see how it turns out.
I mean, it seems a lot better than what it was before.
Totally.
So we'll see. I don't know. I'm on like a roller coaster with this game in terms of interest.
I was gonna say
I came out of E3 before E3. I was like, whatever. Especially because I played that first one a little bit, and I was like, this is trash.
Oh yeah, played it for 2 hours and was done with all the content.
And then the E3 stuff, I was like, this looks really cool. Awesome. I'm ready to give it a shot. And then the beta happened, and I was like, and now this, I'm like on a teeter-tot, like I'm in both sides are kind of hanging in the air, like yeah.
I'll say to someone with no excitement for this game, don't care either way.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. It was my game of
E3. Part of me is feeling that way too. What was that, Paul?
So it was my game of E3. Like,
yeah, I remember.
So.
Oh, so you must be super.
How are you feeling about it right now?
I don't really care about this stuff. I'm curious to see. My biggest thing is I don't want to affect progression as far as unlocking stuff. And what they've come out and said is you'll unlock things by playing the game. You'll unlock basically, if you use a class a lot, you'll upgrade the shit.
There's a level rec behind everything.
Yeah. So I mean, if that's how they're doing it, then that's just a traditional leveling system, and I'm fine with it. But if that's just bullshit to cover up, more microtransactions, and I'm not okay with it. So
here, let me read this paragraph that they mentioned near the end. We also have heard some players are looking for a way to play where all players will have the same set of star cards with flattened values. Like everyone else, we will be continually making necessary changes to ensure the game is fun for everyone. We will work to make sure the system is balanced both for players who want to earn everything as well as for players who are short on time and would like to move faster in their progress towards various rewards. Yeah.
That sounds pretty explicit.
Yeah.
So it's not pay to win, it's pay to advance.
It's not pay to win, it's pay to skip a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's like the Shadow War thing, right?
It's like all the battle
Except
packs
with
they
a
put in Battlefield.
Yeah.
Pay $15 and unlock everything for your class immediately. Except instead of it being stuff that you keep forever, it sounds like some of the stuff might be higher level, higher damage, one-time use stuff or whatever.
One-time use kind of cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, then that sounds not great.
Yeah.
Just play the single player. See what happens.
We'll see. I mean, if it feels like leveling takes an inordinate amount of time, then I'll be very frustrated with that. Because that'll seem like they pretty much geared it around the idea that you're going to want to buy it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, that's why I said it, because that's mine and probably everyone's immediate assumption is, okay, so if you can buy your way to this, how much longer is it than it should have been?
How long is it really going to take?
Right.
But if it feels like a normal, if it feels the way like Call of Duty progression has felt in the past, and Battlefield for that matter, I don't know. Battlefield progression's always felt kind of slow, honestly.
Specifically in the past, I've heard some kind of rotten shit about this new one, but I don't know how much that ties into their.
2?
No, Call of Duty. Sorry,
Battlefield 1.
Oh.
Wait.
I've heard some shit about this.
Call of Duty World War II.
Oh, the Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was wondering. I'm surprised. I wouldn't think they would sully the just crazy sales of Call of Duty by trying.
If you remember, they put that Modern Warfare 1 remake out.
Yeah.
They waited a week and they put loot boxes in.
Did they really?
Did.
After it left.
I didn't hear about that.
They straight up pay us $5, get some loot boxes, maybe you'll get a weed emblem into that game.
Jeez.
Like they are going full force with that stuff.
Of course,
that grosses me more out about humanity than anything.
Well, I mean, gambling is addictive for a reason.
I mean, it's like what we were talking about earlier. Like, of course they're gonna, sell it higher and then try and get more out of it. Like,
you got to milk that cow for all it's worth. If it ain't wrung dry, then you ain't got.
Yeah, you gotta get your bread and whatever right?
Rub the milk and be a king. It's time for bread, everybody.
It's bread time, and you can have it too.
Hell yeah. Speaking of having your bread and eating it too.
Segue.
Just a quick note: the Steam is apparently, I guess, Valve are now locking down or cracking down on uncensor patches for their pornographic video games.
I mean, they've never allowed that being sold, the 18+ versions of any games.
Right. The rule was always you have to censor your stuff, but people would get around it by putting a patch out on their website and then just linking to it on the forums or the store page. And it sounds like Valve are cracking down on that, saying, "Look, you could put an uncensored patch on your website. We can't stop you. Don't link to it from any of our stuff. Nothing on the forums. Nothing on the store page."
I've never understood this.
I don't know. Maybe there's some weird Australian law or something they're trying to.
I don't know. Like, well, then region lock shit. Like,
well, then you just make people mad, and it's easier to not region lock. It's easier to supply shit generally.
But you make everyone mad by doing this.
I mean, well, everyone. Like for 90, I'm sure for
I know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I was gonna say 69% of the Steam audience won't even realize
69.
The sex number, because we're talking about the dildos. No, anybody who's buying their porn on Steam will know to go look for the uncensored stuff. Anybody who's not doesn't need it, right? Like,
I mean, my whole thing with it is like I'm not buying any of that shit.
Yeah.
It's from this person made this game this way.
Just let them sell it.
Let them sell it. And guess what? Your thing is built in such a way that if you're under 18, you shouldn't be on here buying stuff anyway. Like, if they're doing that, they're lying. So, because you put age gating around your and for mature titles. So like, what's the point? Yeah. Like, why do this? I've never quite understood.
I mean, hey, it's Valve. Give it a week, and maybe they'll do the exact opposite. Right? This is coming.
Maybe this has been a thing. This has been going on for years.
Well, no, I mean specifically this, like, no linking to uncensored stuff.
No linking.
Because this is coming just from one developer who got told, "Hey, take that stuff down. Like, we're not going to let you. Like, we're going to crack down on it." Who knows? That might just have been a miscommunication. No one knows what the fuck goes on at Valve anymore.
I mean, I could see people getting around this by like, "Hey, if you're looking for a little more content in this game, go to this website." And that website directs you to an information page that says, "Hey, if you want the uncensored patch, come here."
I mean,
and like,
I wonder if there's anything stopping them from just putting a thing on the title page. It's like, click here for the uncensored patch, and then it just loads into the website. Like, just put everything in the game, maybe. Even if I don't know if that's like against their terms or whatever.
I think that's also against their thing.
Who knows? Who cares? Maybe. if you're buying that stuff on Steam and this is impacting you, let us know. Emails
out yourself.
videogames@gmail or whatever it is.
It's mhmpodcast@gmail.com.
Email me at augmate@gmail.google.com. My old Battlefield server admin email address.
mhmpodcast@gmail.com. But yeah. Oh well. Let's see, what else do we have here? There was a whole bunch of BlizzCon stuff.
Hell yeah, there was.
There was a lot there. I don't really want to get into all of it.
Yeah, just the quick rundown. WoW's getting an expansion. WoW's getting an unspansion because they've announced World of Warcraft Classic with no details. WoW. Don't expect that thing for years. They are
it was a last minute announcement. It felt like
they are building that from the ground up. It seems so. Nothing is currently scheduled or planned. They don't even know what patch version they're going to roll back to. But StarCraft's going free to play. Or sorry, what was that, Seth?
I said, or unbuilding it from the ground up.
Yeah, totally tearing it down from where it currently is.
Tearing it down from the tower. But
yeah, StarCraft is going free to play.
Only not all of it.
The human campaign.
Just it's the first two. The first one's free to play. If you own the first one, you get the second one, not the third one.
And you can do
that's the easiest way.
The multiplayer stuff is also kind of free and shit, but
yes, because the multiplayer stuff gets patched. You can't go back and play the way the multiplayer was from the first release. Every time there's an expansion, the multiplayer gets patched with the new stuff. So the only thing you're really buying when you bought the expansions were the story content.
Yeah.
Which I think was a really good way to do it. I think because it was just $20 basically to get the new thing. Or no, I think it might have been 40. But it was cheaper than a full game.
Right. And I wonder how that competitive scene over in Korea is, or if when the Brood War HD remake came out, if that just killed StarCraft 2.
From what I understood, when StarCraft 2 was released, it got big because it was new. They have gone back to StarCraft 1.
Okay. Like I said, I used to watch StarCraft 2.
That was one reason. That was one reason they released that HD version of StarCraft. And I guess they did a deal with a lot of the PC bangs in Korea to make it a little cheaper for them to license it for their bang.
Bang bang baby, it's time for StarCraft.
Oh, I was about to say that.
A PC bang in Korea is a computer cafe.
A computer cafe is
where
like
you
a
go,
library with computers.
You go and rent time. You rent time on a computer to play a whole bunch of games because a lot of people in Korea don't have their own PCs. So, and it's like this whole social thing. There's one, I heard a lot of stories while over there of people, there's people that just live in them.
Oh yeah, dude.
They just continuously rent the time for that share. So that's like their apartment basically.
Probably bigger than most of the apartments over there.
It might be. The thing I was living in was a closet.
Well, moving on from that depressing news,
yes.
Hearthstone's getting an expansion. Something with kobolds or something, I don't know. Seth, you play Hearthstone. Did you pay attention to this at all?
I did.
Uh-oh.
I haven't.
Well, you haven't really been playing, have you?
I haven't been playing in probably a month.
Now, there's a game Activision could put microtransactions into that are geared specifically towards people.
They probably already have.
I'm probably pretty sure.
They promise they haven't.
Like, every time an expansion rolls out, when you start playing, all you run into is people that have nothing but the new legendaries. Seems kind of odd, doesn't it?
Seems awfully convenient.
I see, Mr. Activision, I see. Overwatch got some announcements.
Woo!
New character,
Moira, yes.
Moira.
Seems really cool.
She's a support that has to damage people to power her heal beams. Has some pinball wizard action going on with one of her abilities.
Yeah, I'm very interested to. It seems like she's going to have a very high skill cap.
Yes, she will be.
She seems really cool.
Yeah, she looks like she's going to be real fun to play. Hopefully, she'll be on PTR soon.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't next week here you go, PTR.
Totally. Well, they might have. There's a video that got out in German, so I don't know if this was a leaked announcement or not. But I guess at the Overwatch World Cup, they revealed a new map for Overwatch called Blizzard Land, which is, or maybe it was Blizzard World. Anyways, it's a theme park built around Blizzard IP. So there's a WoW section, there's a Hearthstone. Well, I guess it's
I heard about
like
this.
a Warcraft section,
yeah.
Starcraft section, Hearthstone section. And so you're basically fighting your way through it. And with that, they also introduced, I want to say it's 8 new skins that are just going to go into all the normal loot boxes, where it's like, oh, the Butcher can look, or not the Butcher, but Roadhog could look like the Butcher from Diablo. Or, oh, May can look like May from fitting. her thing or whatever. Totally fitting.
I just saw that Widowmaker is going to be the Ghost.
Yes, Widowmaker is Ghost from or Nova.
Really...
Nova, I think specifically the Ghost unit from StarCraft.
Yes. The generic Ghost unit from StarCraft.
So that's pretty cool.
Basically.
Like I said though, the video was in German, so I don't know if they were like coming to BTR soon.
Wasn't the last big leak was from Germany, wasn't it? Because that was where the minigun Zaryas were leaked.
Yeah.
That were what's her face? The new character, the horse character.
Oh yeah, Orisa.
I think that's where that video leak came from.
That would make a lot of sense. And unrelated to any kind of announcements or anything, but they're doing a bunch of panels. If you care about the weird development history Overwatch has had as a sequel to WoW turned into a 6v6 team-based shooter.
Are they giving more information?
Well, they put out a lot of concept art and videos from this game when it was super early.
Because I mean, the no-clip stuff was pretty.
The no-clip stuff had a bunch. This has like, I think straight up it was just here are some of our internal documents kind of gussied up for like presentations of what the possible classes in Titan will be, which it's actually kind of funny because they're all marked as Prometheus. So I guess that was like after that had gone from codename Titan to codename Prometheus or whatever.
I wish they would show rendered footage of what they had.
I don't know if it's of when it was Titan, but there's definitely
that's what I mean. That's what I want to see.
Very early footage of Overwatch at the very least, where you
like I want to see like stuff they had when it was still going to be an MMO. I'd really like to see some of the early rendered footage they had of that.
But yeah, that stuff's been coming out this weekend as well. Check that out if you're into any of that history stuff, because that's pretty cool, I think, the way that Overwatch kind of came to be. And then if you care about Heroes of the Storm, Hanzo is going to be in it, and Alexstrasza, the dragon of life from WoW, is in it too, I guess. She can turn into a dragon, and she's a healer. Hanzo shoots arrows. I don't know. Don't play HOTS, or do. I don't care. Do what you want. You're your own man.
If you want to play a bad game...
I mean, it's the best one of those. Don't play Dota, don't play League, play HOTS. It takes you 15 minutes, and then you're done.
Yeah.
A true mark of quality.
Just don't play a MOBA, though.
Well, hey, what can you do? If you're going to play a MOBA, play Destiny.
Get it over with quickly.
Play Battleborn.
Yeah, play Battleborn. Hook up to that ship. Yeah, reward Gearbox for not making Borderlands 3. That's what we should do.
Yeah. Oh my god. So, Mike.
That's my name.
You have a Switch now.
I have a Switch now.
What was there? Were there any games that made it so that you wanted to buy a Switch?
Yeah, Mario. It's the only game I want.
Mario.
No, I'm just joshing. I know what the setup we're doing here. I'll play along. So yeah, they showed some Japanese footage very early of Shin Megami Tensei 5 for the Nintendo Switch. And fans of this podcast, Seth, know that I'm a big fan of the Persona series. I played all of Persona 5 earlier this year. I played Persona 4 and Persona 3, and I was playing Persona 2 for a bit, but I've fallen off because it's hard to play a PSP game, but hey, I'll go back to it at some point, I swear.
You mean you had an epiphany and figured out you were wrong for a few minutes, and now you went back?
Well, no, the secret... I mean, if I was wrong, I would have gone to play something like Pokemon. I play only mature games for mature adults like myself, like the Persona series.
Good old Dick Monsters.
Good old Dick Monsters, baby. And then, hey, teen drama. Hell yeah, baby. But no, so they announced Shin Megami Tensei 5, and if you're unfamiliar with the lineage, Persona is a spinoff of the SMT series, the Shin Megami Tensei series. And I was like, okay, I want to play a mainline Shin Megami Tensei game. I didn't play the ones on PS2 because I didn't want to get it, because those games, you took 3 steps, you were in a fight. You took 3 steps, you were in a fight. You took 3 steps, you were in a fight and died and lost all your progress.
God, that sounds terrible.
It was bad, so I didn't pick them up. People really like those games though, and I can see why. SMT4 comes out on the 3DS. I try to play it. I've got the original 3DS, that small clamshell, and I've got big hands.
I'm so sorry.
Much like our president, my hands are huge. So I have trouble holding that thing for long times without causing cramps and stuff. And so I just could never really enjoy myself playing on that platform. And I've tried to play SMT for Apocalypse, the like sequel follow-up thing, and same thing happened. I have difficulty holding the fucking 3DS. I could solve that problem for hundreds of dollars and buy an upgrade. I probably won't.
Oh, I thought it was going to be hand surgery.
Well, if I could get...
From what I've heard from everybody, just get a 2DS. The new ones are really nice. The 2DS XL.
Or wait a little bit.
Get hand surgery.
No, that's not.
Oh,
nope.
Well, meet me in the middle. Can I get arm surgery?
I mean, our president would offer to pay for the surgery if you traded with him.
Yeah, maybe. But no, so they announced the fifth Shin Megami Tensei game will be coming to the Nintendo Switch. And as someone, like I said, who's been trying to get into that series, I was like, okay, I want to play that
console.
Yeah. I want to play Mario. It's on a real console. I'll go buy my Switch. And so now I have a Switch, no games, and I'm waiting for Shin Megami Tensei. And
now, you already played Breath of the Wild, right?
I played Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. I played it on that weird gap in between the Wii and the Switch, where Nintendo was kind of quiet for a while. I snuck into their R&D setup, and I got one of their Wii U's. Reggie gave me a high five, and then I got out of there with it and played all 3 games they put on it.
And then he went to his marker board, erased the number 6 and put a 7.
He's like, hell yeah. And then in the non-Nintendo employees column, he just wrote a 1.
Yeah. No, he put a 2 because I had one.
I did not know you had one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, okay, I don't need Zelda. Mario's cool, and hey, SMT is coming. I can play that. But no, I'm probably, I think, the only person on this podcast who would even say that. And I might be the only person on this podcast who's even going to play SMT5. I don't know. Paul might.
I'm going to play it.
Listen. I
played SMT4 on that 3DS.
You're not going to be the only one who buys it, but you might be the only one who plays it.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, the podcast after that game comes out, I suspect will be me asking Paul, hey, how far did you get? Him saying, I died and lost a lot of progress, so I threw it in the trash. But
maybe.
I don't know. Oh, that reminds me though. Paul.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei, I was informed by a little bird. I was told to ask you about your social link experience in college.
We're not doing this on the podcast.
Perfect answer.
Why not?
This is my private life. For me.
I don't even remember how I remembered this.
Because you're an asshole.
No, it's fine. I'm kind of proud of it.
Right. It's like, that's the thing.
I made
Paul is incredibly proud of this.
Yeah, I made a graph of all the social links from Persona 4, and I assigned my real life friends to each arcana. What? And then I measured blips of 10 each time I did something that I thought was worthwhile with those people.
What?
Yeah, it's a super autistic thing to do.
Wait, did you
make fun of me being autistic?
No, hold on. Was this like
But maybe
on graph paper on
no,
corkboard?
I had a really cool setup for it. Actually, I might have a picture somewhere.
Do you still have this?
Do you? You haven't shown me. I want to see this.
Oh yeah, it had like a TV. It was very Persona 4.
Do you still have the setup?
No.
This is the kind of thing people find out about after you've murdered a bunch of people.
Oh yeah. When you see that one person doesn't have like anything, and it's like, I wonder what that person did to deserve having no wings.
The Persona killer.
Yeah, well, I mean, death and the devil are different.
He had a TV set up with the word death and devil on the back of the board and a bunch of names listed down, and it said fool under his. I don't know.
Isn't that what the protagonist does every time?
The fool was always whenever we did stuff as a group. I had a group of guys that I hung out with, and if we did it all together, if we all hung out together, the best part was only like 2 people in the 20 that I had on this list knew about it, so they didn't realize I was measuring them.
Oh my god!
Wow. It was our bond, right? You're gonna cut this all out, right?
Nope.
This is gonna get to the beginning of the podcast. Are you kidding me?
Let's be honest. I'm the only one that listens to it, and I've already heard it. So.
Oh god, my shame.
Paul, I have a question.
What's up?
Was I on this chart?
No, this wasn't. This was like, I didn't even know.
This was before me and Paul were
right.
friends.
That's why I wanted to know if I was on this chart, because if I was, there's a real fucking problem.
No, you weren't on this one.
Oh,
now, the one I made when I was playing Persona 5. That's a
I
whole
better be on. If I'm not on that one, I'm gonna be mad. Because you're on mine.
Oh god. I was really hoping, Mike, you were gonna be like, "Oh my god, that is so weird," because I did the exact same too.
Oh my god, that is so weird, because I stole your setup. Actually, I saw this Reddit post about it. Like, is that was you?
Your user? I can't make anything up. Make up a username. Make up a funny name.
You're Inaba King 2016.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Drizzit Butt Bones.
No, that wasn't me.
I have to say, hearing that you do something like that makes me feel better about how hardcore I go into Pokemon.
I was gonna say, yeah. Wait, hold on. You won't collect all Pokemon, but you'll like chart out.
I collect real people.
Oh my god!
Hold on. That didn't sound right.
Is Jen on that list?
Listen,
was she the Lover's Arcana?
All I'm saying is I collect people.
She would have been on there, wouldn't she?
She was on there. She was deaf.
Oh. What?
Listen, I don't want to explain it. We had, we broke up in college.
I didn't know the timeline of any of this.
It was after we had broken up.
It was the time of the list.
Gotcha.
And death does not represent evil or anything. It's just endings.
No, in Persona 3, it represents a terminal patient.
It's endings. It's things ending.
In Persona 5, it represents a doctor. That's why.
Oh
my god! You predicted Persona 5.
He's mad that Jen's a real doctor.
She is a real doctor. First of all,
the next gen experience has conquered death.
Oh, this took a dark turn for you, Paul.
I know. Why did we do this? Jimmy, what the fuck?
It's so good.
I'll make a new chart and I'll show you.
Hey,
if anyone the old one, I took a picture of it.
I want to see it.
I want to too. That's going to be podcast art.
No.
It'll be the next podcast cover.
No,
if anyone at home is listening and has also charted their friends to the Persona Arcana, please email us.
Please email mmmHmmm@gmail.com.
You get to take a deep dive into what each of the tarots mean. And
can you do that for us right now?
Take a deep dive into all the tarots?
No, the three of us.
Assign
the three of us.
Assign us an Arcana or whatever.
Oh Jesus!
Is that what they're called?
Yes, they're the Arcana. You know what tarot are, Jimmy?
If I do it too slowly.
Not really.
Well, okay. I got 2 decks. I'll show you when you come up for Christmas. I'll give you a reading and everything. It's fine.
They gave me one for the GameStop gave me one because they had extras from what was that?
Was it Drag
Tactics Ogre?
Ooh, I heard those were good looking cards.
I got those
they
from
gave me a set of.
it.
They gave me one of those when I was doing a midnight release for a different game. They were like, "Hey, you want these?" Oh, sure, whatever.
Tactics Ogre was a solid game.
Here, I'll give you.
But yeah, give us all an Arcana.
I'll give you the easy one. Video games is the Fool Arcana. Obviously, it's the group.
Right.
It could also be Aeon if we feel like we've ascended to a higher plane as a podcast.
Fuck Aeon.
That would be once we get one viewer besides me.
Right. That's when we get our first email. We are Aeon.
Oh, so we're never okay. Well, that's sad.
We got an email.
Well, not from an email from someone we don't talk to regularly on our Discord.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's fair. All right, Paul.
No more stalling.
No, keep talking. I need you to stall a little more.
No, because you're just playing Destiny.
Are you looking them up?
I know. I need to stop playing Destiny to focus on this. No, I don't need.
All right, Paul. I'll give you the easy one. Who am I?
You're the jester.
You know me the best. What?
The jester. It's not one that's. It's not one of the standard arcana.
That's not a fucking standard. What is this arcana bullshit? You're just making shit up now.
Jester's an arcana. It's one of the.
It's a non-standard one though. You know what I mean.
You want a standard one? Okay.
Yes.
Can this be homework? I'll get back to you.
No, because you'll forget by the next podcast.
No, I won't. I'm gonna make a I'm gonna make a graphic.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
Okay, yeah. If you don't make a graphic, there will be a punishment. I don't know what it is or how I'll enforce it, but I do have pepper spray.
Okay. Oh, back with the pepper spray. All right. No, that's fine. This is fun for me. I'm on it.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's it for news.
So. That's it for news.
Paul's gonna make an arcana of all of us.
So everyone's anticipated games last month. I believe most of us said Destiny 2, except for Paul.
Yeah, I said Mario.
Mario? Please don't say Mario.
What if it says Mario?
I'm okay with that.
Cool.
I just hate when people pronounce Mario with the M-A, May. I mean,
what if that's how they pronounce their name, though?
They're wrong.
Like, I understand Mario's name isn't Mario.
It's like people named Anna who say Anna. Like, come on.
I mean, that's right though.
Nope.
Wait, what the fuck was it? I was looking up how to shorten your name in Russian.
Oh boy.
And I forgot what it was, but Michael shortens to something really weird.
Yeah, it's Michaelis.
It is not Michaelis. That's Germanic. You can't trick me twice.
Anyway, what are our most anticipated games at the moment, Mike? Since you were talking.
Oh yes, my most anticipated game for the year of our Lord, 2017 November. Is that the segment we're doing now?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. What's out next month? Fucking anything?
Check it out.
Battlefront is out next month.
Wait, is that Sonic game that lets you make your OC coming out next month?
I don't know.
Because if it is, that's my game.
Okay.
I want to make my Sonic OC. No, okay, yes, it is. Sonic Forces, where you can make your original character do not steal an actual real character.
Okay, Sonic Forces.
If not that, then let's just, I don't know, maybe it's like Skyrim VR. I'll probably play that once and then go, this is still boring, and fall asleep.
Seth?
Oh, good God. This next month sucks for me. I've got...
I mean, it doesn't have to be next month.
No.
What's your most anticipated game at the moment?
Multiple for this next month.
Oh,
like there's too much to choose from?
Yeah. Horizon Zero Dawn, The Frozen Wilds comes out the 7th. The 17th, the new Pokemon comes out. And there was one other, but obviously it wasn't as important because I can't think of it offhand. But there's two that I'm really looking forward to that I'll buy before the next podcast.
Okay. So Horizon expansion and Pokemon
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Team Rocket is back. They're called Team Rainbow Rocket, and Giovanni is the leader again.
Oh dear Lord.
Boy.
Paul?
Paul. There's probably only two games I'm gonna. Well, one for sure, maybe two that I'll actually even buy. So I guess the one I'm pretty sure I'll buy will be Battlefront. So probably Battlefront. My most anticipated. I might pick up Pokemon. I don't know. Honestly, it's not because I don't want to play it. It's because getting my 3DS out again seems like a chore.
Right. Anyway, mine's Xenoblade 2.
Yeah.
You're talking about you're going to December. You dirty dog.
I mean, I just said I didn't say it had to come out next month.
Most anticipated.
Currently most anticipated game. Xenoblade 2.
Yeah, I guess Xenoblade. I hadn't thought
what
about that.
What else is coming out in December besides Xenoblade?
Oh, you know what? I changed my mind. My most anticipated game is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Speaking of games in December.
A game due to release in December. Which actually, not a joke. The vaulting system looks really cool, and the new map is supposed to come out at the same time.
Have they shown it off?
They've shown it a little bit, and like it's been like some footage and stuff of like, hey, this is why this is taking so long. You can climb over walls.
I know they just delayed it again. I saw some tweets. Last night that said it's being delayed again, and they said when we actually do this, we want it to be ready. Deal.
And I can see why with the early stuff they've shown. That needs to flow really well. Otherwise, it's just going to be a cumbersome and annoying thing. But from what I saw of it, like working,
there's enough cumbersome and annoying things in that game.
Don't put another thing on. This is supposed to streamline a lot of that stuff and make it like better. So as long as it works as intended, that looks like it'll actually be a really good thing for the game.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you have any questions or concerns about Paul's
collecting of people
social link experiment.
Do you have any suggestions for Paul?
Oh yeah, anyone write in with what you think they should.
Yeah,
see if we match it.
Sure. Yeah, see, write in what you think all of our arcanas are. But go ahead and email those at mhmpodcast@gmail.com. mhmpodcast@gmail.com. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here.
Right.
We will see. We will. Okay. We are going to do a game of the year.
Yes.
Like podcast special, and that's going to be at the end of the year, obviously. We'll have one more regular podcast, and then the one after that will be the game of the year podcast. So, yes, look forward to that.
I found it, by the way. My name shortened in Russian is Misha.
Misha?
Yes. So Sasha is short for Alexander because you take the sa out of the middle of it and had sha at the end for like... It's basically like Chan in Japanese. And so you take the mi from the beginning of Michael and it becomes Misha. This has been your pointless Russian fact to delay the podcast.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we'll end it.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Bye-bye. I don't know what the ending music sounds like, but it's probably like this.